Well, apparently they caught me a little bit early.
Ancient Greece, they gazed at the skies, Earth at the center, beneath the stars so high. Anaximander, Plato and Aristotle's lore, Ptolemy's Almagest, the cosmos they'd explore. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Ptolemy's fears, oh so divine, epicycles within deferments, a complex design. Planets and the moon, the sun on their way, in circles they dance through the night and day. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Across the lands, the model would spread in Islamic golden age, where scholars led. Al-Batani, Al-Sufi with their keen eyes, blending old and new beneath the ancient skies. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Medieval Europe took the ancient creed, with Aquinas' thoughts the model would proceed. Christian theology, it intertwined in a universe where earth was central, divinely designed. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Then came Copernicus with a daring view, a sun-centered world, a cosmos anew. Kepler and Galileo, their courage untamed, shifting the paradigm, our place reclaimed. Oh, the earth moved on as the sun stood grand in the heliocentric model. The truth now stands through the ages we've learned, our understanding bold. In the ever-changing universe, stories unfold. The ancient tales remind us to always seek beyond the stars, with minds unique. From geocentric views to heliocentric sight, our journey continues in the cosmic night. Oh, the earth moves now stands. Through the ages we've learned our understanding bold. In the ever-changing universe, stories unfold. So keep looking up with wonder and awe, for the cosmos above holds mysteries for us all.
Oh, well, there's nothing happening in there. I thought somebody over on Discord was talking about where I was posting things and was like, oh, I'll fix it. I thought maybe I put them over there in the main chat, but it looks like I did do it. They're talking about something else. Anyway, so they caught me a little bit early. I did not expect to have this stream running right now. I thought I had a good hour to go. But let's go ahead and hop in there before they get too far in. Uh-oh.
72, 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hello, Roisin. Hello, Susie.
With Gene
Ironton Auditor.
Schmidt aboard.
Cody was in earlier. He might be back soon, or may still be watching.
First series of expeditions to the moon. Today at this hour, you are looking live at our planet from the Integrity spacecraft, heading for a splashdown in the Pacific off the coast of San Diego just 1 hour and 35 minutes from now. And good day from the Artemis Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
Oh,
the entry flight
do I have
control
two things
is on
playing at
duty
once?
at this hour, led by Flight Director
No,
Rick Henfling,
they do.
joined on console with the voice you'll hear talking to the crew throughout the course of the day. That is Jackie Mahaffey, second from
Always
the
a good
left.
day when Roisin
Everything
steps
has
up
gone
or
extremely
shows
well
up.
as we are closing in on the return of Artemis's astronauts from their flight around the moon and historic lunar flyby that will culminate with that splashdown in the Pacific off the coast of San Diego just 1 hour and 35 minutes from now.
And with that, it's a good entry pad, and we can continue.
Hey, Cody. How you doing? Welcome back.
Integrity.
You're looking at a live view inside Integrity. Reed Wiseman on the left doing a fist bump with pilot Victor Glover on the right, and down in the middeck area just below their feet, suited up in their launch and entry suits, are mission specialists Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency. A number of milestones yet to unfold before splashdown just over an hour and a half from now. Earlier today, the crew woke up at about 10:35 a.m. Central Time. They completed the final major maneuver of the flight, that being the return trajectory correction 3 burn. It was an 8-second burn that fine-tuned its trajectory to enter a corridor over the Pacific Ocean a short time from now. That will be the point of entry interface, where the crew will reach the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet. The crew moved into its entry checklist just after 4 p.m. Central Time, suited up in those launch and entry suits, conducted leak checks, and now are in the final stages of their entry checklist.
Instruction 115 of entry checklist. SM separation ATP is go.
Houston copies.
The next major milestone on the route home.
Fully zipped, and they're working on EBS and then seating up.
I have been quite literally watching the Earth slowly approach
talking to Reed Wiseman aboard
from
Integrity.
early this morning.
Spacecraft now about 12,000 nautical miles.
This broadcast is what, 8 hours, 9 hours old?
For the crew.
Of course, we're pretty close to right on time. I could probably speed it up a little bit.
From the Deep Space Network to the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System. The Deep Space Network came into play after the trans-lunar injection burn back on April 2nd that propelled Integrity toward its lunar flyby. We'll be back on the TDRS network here in about 41 minutes. Following that, the next activity will be the pyrotechnic separation of the crew module from the European service module. That is scheduled.
We're like long enough for the song to
time,
play
4
behind.
minutes later, by one
and it's going to catch up
maneuver,
slowly.
That will be a 19-second burn of Integrity's thrusters in what is called the crew module raise burn. Now, what that does is it basically acts. If you were sitting in a reclining chair, you'd basically tilt yourself back. It raises the aft end of Integrity ever so slightly, and that is the final opportunity for us to fine-tune the angle of attack of Integrity through the area of peak heating at entry interface. That will come a bit later on, about an hour and 18 minutes from now. So after the raise burn, we will be in the final orientation that will minimize any peak heating on the heat shield of Integrity, and prior to the time the crew enters the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet. Entry interface. This is the critical time where the crew will reach the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling 34,882 feet per second. Just 24 seconds after entering the Earth's atmosphere, we will experience a communications blackout expected to last 6 minutes in duration. This is planned, and it is caused by the interaction of the velocity of Integrity with the friction of Earth's atmosphere. There will be a buildup of plasma around the vehicle, and that ionization will prevent any communications with the crew and any receipt of data by flight controllers here in Mission Control. That blackout is scheduled to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time. Again, a 6-minute blackout that will end, if all goes as planned, at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time. At that point, we expect to regain communications with the crew and a reacquisition of data through the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System. We will have a series of roll maneuvers. These are computer commanded that will roll the vehicle slightly to the left, then back to the right. That will bleed off excess energy as we begin our peak period of velocity. We expect to reach a maximum velocity of 24,661.21 miles per hour, equivalent to about Mach 33 times the speed of sound, shortly after we enter that blackout period. Once we exit the blackout period, of course, we're in the denser regions of the Earth's atmosphere, and then we get set up for the parachute deployment sequence. First, the deployment of 3 forward bay cover chutes that will pull essentially the top forward bay cover off the very top of the Integrity vehicle. That will be followed by the deployment of drogue chutes, and then the final deployment of a series of 3 main parachutes at 7:04 and 44 seconds p.m. Central Time. From that point on, it is about 3 minutes or so until splashdown. Splashdown scheduled at 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, at a gentle speed of 19 miles an hour. So just to give you some perspective, at the time that we enter the Earth's atmosphere, we're traveling somewhere around Mach 32. We will splash down at a speed of about 19 miles an hour. The G-forces that will build on the crew members inside Integrity will build to about 3.9 Gs. That is what is expected and what they have trained for and what the spacecraft is designed to support. The latest weather forecast.
Yeah, they're not wrenches anymore. They're blue shields.
Is a go forecast from our meteorologists here at the Spaceflight Meteorology Group at the Johnson Space Center. And standing by on the deck of the USS John Murtha is my colleague from the Kennedy Space Center, Megan Cruz. Megan?
Hey there, Rob. Yeah, welcome to the bow of the USS John Murtha. This is where we will report out live updates from the ship as NASA and the U.S. military work to recover our Artemis II astronauts in just about an hour and a half. How exciting. Now, right now, as you can see, we are out in the Pacific Ocean. We are just west of San Diego. We're actually staged about 6.5 miles away from where we expect Orion to splash down.
No, I just dived out for a second because I didn't expect to start the show, so I caught up with what I needed to do before I started the show.
At that point, make sure that all the debris.
I'm not sure if they dropped the trunk already, but all the external views, I believe, end once they drop the trunk off.
So we'll just want to make sure that those all land in the water and that we are safe to move even closer.
I'm pretty sure they haven't yet.
We will
CFD gives engineers
Wonderful.
the information they need to make a decision.
Code Glitch brings
What? I'm a
value
cheap
to
bitch.
Ryan. And at that point, the ship will circle the capsule while NASA and Navy recovery forces work to get our astronauts out, and we should have great views of the bow from here. But also, we have a ton of cameras all around the ship. For example, we actually have some cameras right to the left of me here on the bow. These are very strong, stabilized cameras. We can really get up close to make sure that we are sharing all the images we have available to you. We also will have some views from above. We actually have 5 planes providing live views of Splashdown today. In fact, some of those aerial assets.
Yeah, they had one of those birds flying around earlier.
And then actually here on the flight deck,
Whirly
you see 4
birds.
helicopters, the 2 in the back. Those will take off in about 30 minutes from now, also with live cameras. So again, lots and lots of imagery that we hope to share with you today. And then those 2 helos in the front, those 2 will pluck the crew out of the water and fly them back to our ship. Now, the combined team here on the ship, more than 550 people, left San Diego 4 days ago. And since then, I've watched different teams train every day, train, rehearse, final preps to make sure that they're ready for today. So to give us more of an update about how recovery is going on right now, why don't we turn over to Paul here, Paul Serpinski.
We're hoping for tops up. We want tops up.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. So you just left the landing forces operations center here on the ship. How are we looking for recovery?
Right now, it's looking great. When I left, they were just about to get into weather briefing with Mission Control Center in Houston. But listening to the loops this morning and everything that's been going on, the reentry.
They had a capsule almost sink once because it didn't land exactly tops up.
Right on the money, right down the middle, where they should be coming back. Our forces here are teams out in the water. All our boats are launched or will be imminently. So yeah, it's just coming along great.
Yeah. It's really nice to see. We did see some of those boats float behind us. We were hoping to give you a live view, but of course they floated right out of the camera shot as you came to us. But so basically the team right now here on the ship, basically like monitoring mode, but really things will pick up about 15 minutes after splashdown.
Yeah, so a couple minutes before splashdown, things start happening really, really fast. Some events during the re-entry, they're maybe a second or 2 apart. And so it just takes a whole lot of effort and a lot of updates back and forth between us and Houston to try to keep track of everything that's happening all in real time. And then after splashdown, that's when the recovery team really kicks into high gear. We have our boat teams, our boat crews going out, our divers doing hazardous assessments as they get progressively closer to the capsule, making sure it's safe for all of our people to go in, and it's also safe for the astronauts to come out. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. Is we're to make sure that the astronauts get home safe after their trip.
It's not a drone ship. I don't think they lift it up like the drone ship and everything. So perhaps they do pluck them out of the water.
All of our imagery helicopters are taking imagery, camera shots of it as it's coming in all the way through splashdown. I mean, they'll see it as soon as it crosses the horizon, all the way to the ocean here.
And then afterwards, we have to recover actually Orion to bring it into the well deck of the ship.
Absolutely, yeah. And so once the astronauts are safe on board, then those same dive teams are going to transition into securing the capsule. They'll position some equipment around it to kind of.
Yeah, see, they bring the crew back before the capsule.
A really big winch line to it, and then a bunch of tending lines. We'll pull the capsule around behind the ship, and then start to slowly bring it in. And then, yeah. Orion comes in, goes hard down, and everyone cheers.
Yeah, great day, exactly. Lots to coordinate, a lot to manage. Basically,
yeah, no kidding. They fly around the moon, become national icons, and
rocket as well as the Orion spacecraft.
Then they want them to get plucked.
A month later, all the planning for this. How does it feel to be so close to welcoming our friends, our astronauts home?
I mean, for the whole team, I walked around the ship this morning, just kind of visiting with a lot of people, a lot of groups, and just kind of get the feel of them. And everyone has that same kind of mentality. Everyone's excited. Everyone's thrilled to see all that work that we've been doing, like you said, for the last 3 years, since right after the last one came back till now. And some people even further back, some of them go back a decade and or more. So everyone is just excited, and they're ready. They're really ready for this, and just to be able to see our crew come
Did
back.
anybody hear that
how are you feeling? Are you ready?
Putin has, I guess, deemed that the moon is sovereign, Russian sovereign territory?
This has been the pinnacle of my career so far. It really has. I've seen a lot of firsts, a lot of lasts, but I can't think of ever topping seeing the first crew to go to the moon and back in 50 years, and to be here and be a part of that. And it's just a tremendous privilege. And on behalf of the whole team, I'm thrilled, and so are all of us. We're ready.
Yeah, I definitely think that those words really embody how everybody on the ship is feeling. So thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate you being here. And so, Rob, we'll toss it back to you again. We will continue to join you with live updates from the ship as much as possible.
Thank you, Megan. Back here at the Johnson Space Center, the entry team of flight controllers looking over the shoulders of Reed Wiseman and Victor Glover. They're on the flight deck of Integrity, and again, just below their feet in the mid-deck area, if you will, Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency. They're in the final review of their entry procedures and all of the activities that will follow here very shortly in trip hammer fashion. We should note that after splashdown occurs, the flight control team here in Houston will be monitoring the orientation of the Integrity spacecraft. We are expecting it to splash down upright in what is called the Stable 1 configuration, with the top of the spacecraft pointed upward.
Top up.
Stable 2 would indicate that it is upside down in the water.
Not good.
Regardless of the orientation, there will be 5 inflatable airbags called the CMOOS system. That's the acronym for Crew Module Uprighting System.
We are suit not complete.
Houston copies.
Reed Wiseman acknowledging that the final steps in suit donning are now complete for the crew. Leak checks have been completed earlier. The CMOOS system, those 5 inflatable airbags, will be inflated with helium. Those airbags will ensure that the vehicle remains upright. While that activity is going on, the flight control team here will be checking the systems on integrity, also making sure that there's no leakage of toxic gas from the spacecraft. It should take about
One of the
15
neat
minutes from
things to
splashdown
watch
power down
earlier
of all of
was
the
the
systems on
astronauts
integrity.
before they
And at
put
that
on their
point,
suits. They
assuming
assembled
everything
their
is in a
seats
nominal
right there.
fashion,
You got to see them
then the
put them
green
all
light will be
together
given
because they remove
for
them.
the
They have more
Navy
room in the
recovery teams
capsule.
to begin to make their way
And you
closer
got to see
to
them set
integrity
everything
to begin
up
the
and
erection of
put
a
all
large
the seat
inflatable
belts on
life
and
raft called a front porch
bolt
that will be
everything
mounted
down
up
and
alongside
then
the
climb up
hatchway
into them.
to the spacecraft. That life raft will be used to bring the crew members out of this vehicle once the hatch is open, one by one. They'll get their land legs back after 9 days of weightlessness before they're put in harnesses to be hoisted one by one in sequential fashion and in alternating fashion to the 2 hovering Navy helicopters overhead.
Houston integrity for status.
Go ahead.
Seats 3 and 4 are connecting umbilicals. We're going to be stepping into leak check soon. 1 and 2 will be seated. 3 and 4 will be free float, and we'll configure EPROC accordingly.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman talking about the current procedures with the suiting of the crew members and subsequent leak checks, a final leak check for all 4 crew members. Everything is actually running a few minutes ahead of schedule. So once the life raft is inflated next to the Integrity spacecraft and the recovery teams have arrived alongside of the vehicle, the hatch will be open and the crew members will be brought outside into that front porch.
Yeah, I noticed they were
Let's go
far
one
enough
by
ahead
one.
of schedule.
They
If
then
I
will be
would have
hoisted
started when I
into
did, I
hovering
probably would
helos
have only
overhead.
had 20 minutes.
And those helos then will turn around once the 4 crew members are on board, 2 for each helicopter, and will
Or
then
when
go
I
into the ship.
planned.
That should be about a 10 to 15 minute transit. Once the helicopters land on the deck of the USS John Murtha, the crew members will be exiting those helicopters and brought into medical bay on the deck on the ship itself for comprehensive medical exams. They will spend a period of time yet to be determined on board the USS John Murtha before they are flown by helicopter to the shore in San Diego, to the San Diego Naval Air Station, and ultimately will board a NASA jet for the flight back to the Johnson Space Center here in Houston. Just to recap some of the key times that are coming up, we are expecting the separation of the crew module from the service module just 43 minutes from now. That is expected to occur at 6:33 p.m. Central Time, 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be followed just 4 minutes later by the crew module raise burn, the use of Integrity's thrusters one final time in a 19-second burn to slightly tilt the vehicle up into the correct orientation or angle of attack to ensure that it enters the Earth's atmosphere at the right angle, if you will. That will help deflect the buildup of heat against Integrity's heat shield. This was a deliberate move, a change in the procedures from the Artemis 1 mission that resulted in unexpected char loss on the Avcode heat shield that had not been intended based on the entry trajectory for the Artemis 1 mission. What we're doing is we deliberately changed the trajectory of the entry from a skip entry that was about a 3,000-mile transit across the Pacific Ocean. We are expecting now from entry interface to the point of splashdown to have a range of just 1,701 nautical miles, and that in of itself will reduce the exposure time of heating on the heat shield of the spacecraft. Once the raise burn is complete, then the stage is set for entry interface at 6:53 and 31 seconds p.m. Central Time. That means that Integrity will be entering the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling at about 34,882 feet per second, heading for its splashdown site off the coast of San Diego, as you just heard from Megan Cruz on the deck of the USS John Murtha. Splashdown once again under those 3 main parachutes is expected at 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, 2.5 hours before sunset. The actual total distance traveled for Integrity from launch to splashdown is estimated at 694,481 statute miles. Now that includes the first high elliptical Earth orbit following launch that enabled Integrity to move to 43,000 miles above the Earth at its apogee, and enabling a 24-hour period of systems checkouts before the flight control team here and the mission management team gave approval for Integrity to conduct its translunar injection that propelled it on its way to the moon and its historic lunar flyby. So the total distance we expect this vehicle to have traveled at Splashdown, 694,481 statute miles. With everything proceeding on track and on time aboard Integrity, the vehicle system's in excellent shape as the Earth grows larger in the field of view. Let's go back to the USS John Murtha and Megan Cruz, who is standing by.
Hey, yeah, Rob, welcome back. Again, we are out in the Pacific Ocean, staged just about 6.5 miles from where we expect Orion to splash down now in just over an hour. How exciting. And the weather, awesome conditions here. I know you see some wind blowing around my hair, but really nothing to speak of when it comes to having to recover our astronauts, as well as no waves here, really. So yeah, we're expecting a really great day. Also, hopefully, some really great views. You can see behind me that some of the clouds are starting to break up, so that's really exciting. And now, of course, this ship has a lot of people ready and excited to welcome our crew back home, including Dr. Rick Schuring here. He is a NASA flight surgeon. Great to have you here, Rick.
You too, Megan. It is a blessing to be out here this day with our teams. We've trained 3 years for this nonstop with the U.S. Navy and along with EGS, and we've so looked forward to this day. And you know, just by God's grace, everything's parting, the skies and everything. The crew's doing great. Looking forward to coming back, and our teams are ready. So this is one of those days you've dreamt about, and now it's finally here, and we're ready, and just thankful to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you play a really integral role. When was the last time you spoke to the crew, and how are they feeling in this last hour before splashdown?
Sure. Yeah, so the crew woke up. When they splashed down, they were woken up about 8.5 hours ago. Me and my fellow crew surgeon, Dr. Chris Haas, and
Yeah, there's a great story behind that thumbnail.
With them, about 6.5 hours ago, just to double check on how they were doing, if there's
It's AI generated, by the way.
Slept, and then kind of go over their landing day protocol for the medications, for what we call a fluid load, to try to replace some of the fluid and electrolytes that they've lost with just the normal space adaptation. Once they got to space, they kind of have to replace some of that.
If you notice, the last two thumbnails I have had basically the same motif to them. Over there in the hater channel, they
were very pumped up.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely over there in the hater channel. Apparently they're over there griping that people are using AI to make their thumbnails.
We've trained a long time.
And I guess one of them showed exactly how to prompt to make the AI thumbnail look a specific way. And of course I was like, well, dude, if this really bothers them, it's going up on my channel.
You know, the human system is very kind of dynamic. It has to readapt very quickly, and one of the most common responses they get is just some stomach awareness, to some nausea, even to some vomiting. And you know, with our crews that land out in Karagana, the Soyuz crews or our SpaceX crews, you know, they all kind of experience the same thing. This will be the first time we're landing in water since December 1972, and I worked with all the Apollo astronauts years ago, and they all told me that, you know, landing
I do
in water,
think they look great, though. I will agree.
So we take steps to give them medicines to really mitigate some of that nausea, vomiting, help them feel a little bit better, and also sometimes just use a little anti-inflammatory medicine just to help with coming back to 1 Earth or 1G. The effects of microgravity, especially as you age and you have arthritis, you feel great microgravity, and everyone kind of curses coming back to the ground like, oh dang, 1G, but so that helps a little bit. But for the most part, the main thing is just replacing that fluid and then trying to help them with that transition back to 1G, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah, and their health is assessed almost immediately after they splash down.
Yeah, so we have Dr. Jesse Wang, and we have our independent duty corpsmen, who are the Navy version of paramedics, extremely highly trained, highly experienced Navy medics and divers, who will go out there, open the capsule about 28 minutes after splashdown and do the first initial assessment. So Jesse and his team will go out there and look at each crew, kind of do their assessments, get vital signs, report back to Drs. Haas and Kumji and I back in the med bay, let them know how they're doing, and then you know, if they've got the normal kind of space adaptation kind of things, we expect that they're good to go on that. If anything, you know, didn't go the way we want, they're all prepared for that as well. And Jesse and his team, I mean, you know, this is their full-time job, taking care of, you know, sailors and folks who might be injured. We don't expect any injuries, but coming back, you know, going 25,000
Neener. I have a couple of them. I should, let's see. Share image file. Oh, maybe I didn't download both of them.
We'll make that transition to get them out to the front porch, do assessments on them again, call to our med bay. And then once we have that and they're all good to go and the crew's feeling okay, we'll hoist them up in the helos. It's about a 3-minute flight back to the flight deck, and that's where me and Astronaut Chief Scott Tingle will actually meet them. I'll get eyes on them, make sure they're all good, just take very slow transitions, and then one by one we'll either get them out with the SMTs, the SAR med techs under each arm to
Yeah, what happened to that first one?
Back to 1G, or if they're really
Yeah, I didn't like the
fast,
first one,
then
so
we might put them in what we call a stair chair, which will be right behind them, and then just very slowly kind of get them back in the med bay to start our full assessments with the team.
Yeah, so a really great team here to support them as soon as they get back, and also all.
But again, thank you.
Of course, you talked a little bit about this, but obviously, you know, we have seen astronauts return from the International Space Station for over 25 years, so we kind of know that that journey, how it affects the body. But yes, we're talking about humans returning from the moon for the first time since 1972. How is this different from your perspective?
So it's different in one very significant respect. With on Apollo, for exercise, they had something called the Apollo Exergenia, which was basically just a little canister with some ropes, and they would have some resistance and kind of do that. And the Apollo astronauts really
well, you can't 100% rely on the answers that the chat that the AI bots give you. You kind of have to know the subject. I would say know the subject pretty well before you try to use the AI bot. And the reason why I say that is if you ask, just ask your AI bot to quote, show me a seahorse emoji.
Really work hard to get them in the best shape they're going to, have to be in.
I'll tell you what happens. It freaks out for a little while trying to show you different emojis, and every time it realizes it's wrong and then tries to show you another emoji until finally it realizes there's no seahorse emoji and it just stops.
We're very excited about the astronauts have
You break the bot.
And what they have to say about the role exercise plays, going to the moon, and also the mental benefit.
Sure.
They just really like sweating, breaking sweat, and actually just feeling like they're just getting a workout.
Now, there's one bot that can conquer that, and that is Deep Think, the Chinese robot. And that one actually is it eventually kicks out a new emoji that it creates that's like 2 inches in height. So that's not quite an emoji, but it kind of gets the idea that it's going to make a seahorse. And it's the only one I know that is able to process far enough that it needs to make it itself.
Integrity, just under a minute till your GPS maneuver initiates, and both GPS units look eager to acquire.
Yeah, I think I saw something about this on Saul's channel. Of course, I mean, you know how he likes to say when round earthers hear about flat earth, they all come in droves to fight it. Well, it's kind of the other way around. Whenever a rocket goes up in space, all the flat earthers freak out, especially if it's a groundbreaking rocket like this.
Crew module, service module separation scheduled just 31 minutes from now. The key point of interest, of course, will be the performance of Integrity's heat shield during its high-speed entry back into Earth at the peak heating that is expected around the spacecraft of some 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. On Artemis 1, as I think most folks know by now, we flew a trajectory known as a skip entry, in which we performed an initial dip into the atmosphere to bleed off some energy. Then we skipped out of the atmosphere and dipped back into the atmosphere before splashing down in the Pacific. But after the mission was over with, we noticed unexpected liberation of some of the charring effects on the heat shield known as AVCOAT. Before the flight, we had an opportunity to sit down and talk with Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling to get a perspective on what this all means and how the mission was redesigned to try to protect Integrity's heat shield to a higher extent. Let's take a look at that interview.
Returning from the moon is a lot different than deorbiting from low Earth orbit. When we return from the moon, we expect to achieve velocities upwards of 36,000 feet per second. And in order to slow down
harmonic resonance, haven't you heard? Harmonic resonance.
Between 3 and 4 times the force of Earth's gravity. On Artemis 1, pressure buildup inside the char layer of the heat shield.
That is an answer to how we got through the dome. Harmonic resonance. They matched the harmonic resonance and passed right through.
And then make recommendations on how to fly the Artemis 2 mission safely and successfully. And so for Artemis 2, we are going to fly a profile that ensures the spacecraft will not see that same type of pressure profile. And so the char losses seen on Artemis.
Sometimes baby steps turn out to be giant leaps.
How do you know when her diaper's wet?
Listen,
my Lord, I was
squish.
just fixing
when life changes lead to tax changes. Don't.
Rick Henfling indicated that the orientation of the spacecraft and the shortening of the distance of transit to the splashdown zone from the point of entry interface when we reach the top of the Earth's atmosphere, which will be coming up at
Yep, we
6:53
plucked
and
right through it. It
30
was
seconds
plucking
p.m.
awesome,
Central Time,
man.
should
Plucking
do the
awesome.
trick
I'm
in
telling you.
minimizing the deleterious forces against that heat shield that were noticed on the Artemis 1 mission.
And we think we see a beautiful sunrise over the west coast of Australia.
We copy.
Commander Reed Wiseman reveling in his final hour in space on this mission as Integrity is passing over the southwest coast of Australia now at an altitude of some 7,600 nautical miles. That will begin the southwest and northeasterly transit across the Pacific Ocean. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the highlights.
Yeah, they're going over
some of the numbers
13,000 miles
associated
per
with,
hour.
points of interest here. We are 27 and a half minutes away from crew module, service module separation. That will be followed about 3.5 minutes later by the raise burn that we've discussed, a 19-second burn of Integrity's thrusters to fine-tune its angle of attack as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface is scheduled 47.5 minutes from now. That's the point at which we will reach the top of the Earth's atmosphere, traveling about 34,882 feet per second at an altitude of 400,000 feet. Just 24 seconds after
I'm not sure, but I think when they kick that trunk off, that's the last exterior view you'll see.
Time. Now, right about 10 seconds after the blackout period begins, we are expected to reach peak speed, which would be 24,661 miles an hour. That'll be about 103 miles an hour short of the velocity record set by the Apollo 10 astronauts, Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young, when they returned from the moon on the Apollo 10 mission in 1969. That blackout period is expected to last 6 minutes in duration. At 6:54 and 52 seconds p.m. Central Time, we'll reach our peak heating period of about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees while we're in a communications blackout from Integrity and its astronauts. That blackout should end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time, at which point we expect
Still to this day, nobody has explained to me how in the heck do kangaroos jump in Antarctica without falling into space?
And we'll await a response from the crew as they come out of that blackout period. And at that point, their altitude will be just 157,000 feet above the Earth, traveling at 13,000 feet per second with a range to splashdown of just 147 nautical miles. From that point on, the next key series of events will be the deployment of a series of parachutes that we discussed before. First, the forward bay cover chute deploy that will pull the forward bay cover away from the top of Integrity, followed by drogue chute deploy, and then the main chute deploy that's expected at 7:04 and 44 seconds p.m. Central Time. That will begin the gentle descent of Integrity towards its splashdown at just a velocity of just 19 miles an hour. And that will begin the recovery operations that you just heard Megan Cruz discuss with her folks on the USS John Murtha. All of Integrity's systems in great shape. The crew is suited up. Leak checks complete as we stand by for the next major milestone, which will be the crew module service module separation just 24.5 minutes from now. All of the activities from the start of entry interface to the point of splashdown will be quite rapid fire, just 13.5 minutes from the point at which we begin descent into the Earth's atmosphere till splashdown. And just to show you, as Rick Shearing, the flight surgeon, alluded to in his interview with Megan Cruz, all of this happens to decelerate the vehicle from traveling around Mach 33 to just 19 miles an hour at splashdown. All of that happening in just 13.5 minutes. But the vehicle and the parachutes are all designed to support all of that. So we'll be standing by to report all that to you in sequential fashion as these milestones are ticked off and as we hear from the crew during its entry back into the Earth's atmosphere and ultimately when they emerge from the blackout period. And at that point, we'll be just minutes away from splashdown. So with all of those preparations ongoing, we can return here briefly for another report from the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan? And we'll regain that communication with the USS John P. Murtha just momentarily. In the meantime, everything is on track aboard Integrity, the flight control team here in Houston, led by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling. The voice you will hear talking to the crew is that of Jackie Mahaffey. She will be reporting everything to the crew and receiving their reports as they enter the Earth's atmosphere for their 13.5-minute plunge back into the atmosphere for splashdown off the coast of San Diego. Now we have the ship back with us and Megan Cruz aboard the USS John P. Murtha. Megan?
11 balloon, right? Hey, Rob, yeah, the excitement is really building here on the ship. I'm watching right now one of the weather balloons being lofted up from the ship. Again, weather balloons, very important for us to make sure that we are tracking the right kind of weather and also the data that's needed for what's called our Sasquatch team. Again, it's a team out of NASA that basically makes sure that the debris that comes off of Orion, again, some of those pieces of the parachute system, make sure that they don't fall on us here in the sea and also our aerial assets, our folks in helicopters. So watching that float away right now. But with me right now is Captain Eric Kenny. He's the commanding officer of the John P. Murtha naval ship. Thank you so much for being here. There are so many moving parts that you have to keep an eye on.
That's absolutely right, yeah. But first of all, on behalf of the crew of USS John P. Murtha, Megan, thanks for having me on today. Happy to tell you what we're doing and excited to get the...
And on that, if you believe something is a conspiracy and, you know, you're really heart set on it, that's a bit of a different story than, as Nakoti said, every single detail of your life being a complete conspiracy. That's when it starts getting a little much. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, when somebody farts in the room, is that a conspiracy as well? The stink didn't really stink. It was a government cover-up. Those type of thoughts is what I have when people kind of every little thing that hits the news. Oh, nope, it's fake.
We've been building up the excitement and motivating the team for the training that we've executed. But really over the past 24 hours, now I'm trying to get us to slow down a little bit. Trust our training, right? Don't believe all the hype. Don't believe everything that's going on. Just let's trust what we've done to get to this point. And if we do that, we'll be successful today.
And also part of the big success is obviously the coordination between NASA and the U.S. military. How does it feel being able to support the human space program we have?
Yeah, I mean, since 1959 with Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, the history between NASA and the Navy has been in lockstep. But like any other skill, if you don't practice it regularly, that skill atrophies. You know, so we've had a few decades off from that. You know, over the past 4 or 5 years, really, with this ship over the past year.
I've told you guys from the beginning I'm AI generated.
Building up the hype, but to get to this point today, to be able to trust all the training we've done. We work, working with NASA, the Air Force, the medical team, dive team. You want to talk about high-performance organizations coming together, working in unison? We are seeing that here on board the USS John P. Murtha, and I can't be more proud of all the work everyone's doing.
Yeah, you had some great words this morning saying just that again.
You see, it's the 5G mind control that makes you think that I'm a real person.
Ship back in February. How does it personally feel for you to be a part of this historic moment today?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'd say any opportunity to command any warship in the United States Navy is a tremendous honor. Is a pinnacle of any.
I still love Bubblegum Boy. To this day, I'm not kidding. It is the best nickname from somebody that dislikes me I have ever received. And the most thought through. I'm not kidding you. The crazy flat earther was the one that made the most well thought nickname.
And pride they take. They make my crew better. I think we're making NASA better together. That synergy is something that I'm happy to see and hopefully take forward with me in my career.
Yeah, it's all about partnerships. We couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't have gotten to the moon without.
Oh no, the Jedi are helpless to my 5G mind control.
Thanks, Megan.
Awesome. All right, Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Megan. Back here in Mission Control in Houston. We just had a quick view of the crew. We'll get that view back, and there they are again. Here in Mission Control, the entry team of flight
They wish they knew my 5G mind trick.
Jackie Mahaffey serving as the spacecraft communicator. We have just handed over communications links from the Deep Space Network that we communicated with the crew through from the time of the translunar injection burn back on April 2nd. We've just handed back to the tracking and data relay satellite system as we prepare for the crew module service module separation that will take place just 17 minutes from now. With the Earth looming in front of Integrity as it barrels back for a splashdown of the Pacific just 50 minutes from now, we're just 5,700 nautical miles from splashdown. Just one other quick note about the comparison from the Artemis 1 entry profile to the Artemis 2 entry profile and how that is serving as a extra layer of protection for Integrity's heat shield. The Artemis 1 entry had an entry range of some 3,178 nautical miles, a very long down track, and a very longer period of exposure to heat loads than we're experiencing tonight. It also had that skip entry profile that we discussed earlier, dipping into the Earth's atmosphere, then back out, then back in. It was about 20 minutes of exposure.
Integrity, Houston, comm check on TDRS.
Jackie, we have it loud and clear on TDRS.
We have you the same.
I was looking at that weather balloon thinking, wait, did I miss something?
Being deployed from the USS John P. Murtha. So the Artemis 1 entry had the vehicle.
The update on GPS, we haven't seen a track in yet.
Reed, we are watching. We are starting to get into the window where they may start acquiring, so should be within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. We're holding at step 17.
I believe I've showed all you guys my space shuttle photo with the signatures of the very first space shuttle, the people who designed it, and the very first test pilots.
Tool that will basically tell Integrity's computers that they're on track down the center line of the corridor for the entry interface that will lead them to their splashdown point. Once again, the Artemis 1 entry exposed the heat shield for about 20 minutes of peak heating. For Artemis 2, we're going to reach a downtrack distance of 1,701 nautical
Oh yeah,
miles
that's
from
it.
the point of
It
entry
carries
interface.
one of those little
Just 14
capsules
minutes
that
of
are like
duration.
shrunk down, and
Basically
then as
giving
it
the
gets
angle
up
of
in the
attack,
atmosphere, it blows
steeper
up
angle
real
of
big,
attack
and then they
that will
drop
detect
it
the
so
heat
it
shield
looks
in
like
excess of heat
the
load.
capsule's
So that is the
falling from
difference between
space.
Artemis
That
1
makes
and
sense,
Artemis
man.
2, all designed into this mission to gather data, to protect the heat shield, since the Artemis 3 mission and beyond will have a different designed heat shield that will
You know, like
allow
those
that skip
toys you
entry
put in the
type
water and they get
profile
bigger,
to be resumed for
but
all of the
this
future
works
missions
off
coming
of
back from
air
the South
pressure
Pole of the
density.
moon when we initiate lunar landings. So we've handed over to the tracking and data relay satellite system. That's where we'll have communications for the rest of the flight. Just to give you some time hacks here, we're 13.5 minutes away from crew module, service module separation, and just 17 minutes away from the raise burn, that 19-second firing of the thrusters that will basically be the final fine-tuning of the angle of attack for Integrity as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. And once again, a dueling box view of some of the assets that are involved in recovery operations today. The
Integrity, cabin configured, all crew suited and seated.
Houston, copies.
That confirmation from Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, as you see the assets being deployed to the splashdown zone. At the time of splashdown, we expect the John P. Murtha to be about 5 miles away from Integrity, keeping a safe distance until we are sure that the vehicle is in the water and upright, and that it is in a good configuration system-wide for the recovery teams to begin to approach the vehicle to erect that inflatable raft.
2 minutes to CM RCS warm-up hot fire.
You know, I was thinking of putting that together. I have quite a bit of video of the entire mission, watching the moon slowly get larger and larger until completion, and then watching the moon get smaller and smaller as the Earth gets bigger and bigger.
All the burns that had been
It's quite long. I think even if I played it at a high speed, it would probably be several hours.
The European flight control room that has
But I thought about putting it together.
Manufacturing the design of the European service module. They deserve quite a bit of credit.
It's quite literally the entire trip.
Not only propelling the Integrity and its astronauts toward the moon, but also conducting the fine-tuning of its trajectory to bring it to this point where we are dead spot on down the middle of the corridor trajectory-wise to bring Integrity down for its splashdown in the Pacific just 44 minutes from now.
Like, for example, this video itself was 9 hours of return trip, and the video before it was, I think, 11 hours of return trip. And then there's another one, and there's a load of them, a bunch of them.
What you're looking at is a computer-generated visualization based on real-time telemetry from Integrity. Currently traveling about 16,000 miles an hour.
That's funny. Those videos are actually great when the dogs and the cats are responding to what's happening on television.
Integrity traveling about 16,000 miles an hour.
For the precautions, we're taking a look.
I would not want to have to land a helicopter on a boat.
Now just about 5,100 miles from Earth.
The boat is never exactly where it was
just 9.5
a second ago.
Crew module, service module separation.
You know, it's fluid, up and down, up and down. It's not exactly, you can't gauge how far up or how far down it's going to go between the waves. So when you land a helicopter on a ship, you got to kind of drop it down there.
Integrity, we are assessing details, but so far looks like a good hot fire.
Looks good on board, Jackie. Thank you.
And Jackie Mahaffey took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that we had a good hot fire test of the thrusters in advance of the crew module service module separation that's coming up just 8.5 minutes from now. This
I watched a YouTuber once take a drone out on a yacht, and it was the first time he ever flew a drone, and he thought, oh great, I'm going to fly it back and land it on the yacht. Nope, that didn't work. He spent like 8 minutes trying to freaking get it to even come close to him without smacking him, and then of course the boat came up and hit the drone, and it went haywire from there. Speaking of, I also saw another video where a kayaker had a drone, and he was never able to get the drone into his hand. Interesting how water is fluid.
Integrity's astronauts were awakened at mid-morning to begin their entry preparations. And propulsion officer now reports a good hot fire test in preparation.
Yeah, cats are definitely psychotic roommates. They truly only allow you to be around.
Splashdown.
Integrity Houston, we have confirmed a good CMRCS hot fire, and although we are not seeing GPS acquired yet, you can skip the troubleshooting steps in 157 for now.
Yeah, what Iron Auditor said.
Integrity copies.
That GPS discussion indicating that we will be acquiring navigational data for Integrity through the Global Positioning System equipment on board. We just don't have it yet, but we will. All of Integrity systems are in great shape to support its high-speed entry into the Earth.
What do we got here?
Atmosphere. It once again will reach.
Oh yeah, we are now at normal speed.
24,661.21 miles an hour.
Your call, GPS. We at least have GPS 1 looking good on board.
We're confirming.
The guidance, navigation, and control officer here in Mission Control confirming that we have good lock on GPS data. We are on a communications link now through the tracking and data relay satellite system. Now, following splashdown, we're going to lose that link and go to what's called a VLDR, a very low data rate communications link, so that we can talk to the crew inside Integrity as they are on the water.
Integrity, confirm we do see good GPS.
We do too, especially GPS 1 is accepting in nav channels 1 and 3.
That GPS data is basically
Integrity. Sure, that's exactly what it is, Integrity.
And its orientation according to flight dynamics and the guidance, navigation, and control officer is spot on. We have now armed the pyros for the crew module service module separation coming up less than 5 minutes from now. Once again, just 10 seconds after entry interface, we will see Integrity reaching its peak speed of 24,661.21 miles per hour. That will be just seconds before we begin a 6-minute blackout period.
Integrity, Houston.
I can't even imagine what
Your vehicle is
24,000
making
miles
phase
per hour
for
is like.
CM set
I mean, of course,
and
it's
go
like
for
sitting
CM
still
raise.
because you're in space, but I mean,
Houston,
if you
we'll
were
see
able to
CM on board.
stand
Copy.
outside
Deliver
of the
CM raise.
craft and have an outside perspective, I can't imagine what 24,000 miles
That
per hour
CM raise
would
referred
look
to
like.
as the slight firing of 19 seconds by Integrity's thrusters with a change in velocity of 9.9 feet per second, a slight nudge of the aft end of the vehicle.
Oh, the green screen
So
thing. Oh my
consistent
God, it's the
on
same
board,
thing as the
providing the
FTFE
final
green
angle of
screen
attack
thing. Okay,
as
let
the
me
vehicle
explain
enters the
green
Earth's
screen real
atmosphere.
quick. If
This
you
being
have
the
fake
mitigating
items
factor
in
that
the
will reduce heat
background
loads on the heat shield
and you
as
put your
we
arm way
point
behind you, it glitches
downrange on the
out and
startup
the
entry
fake
interface,
items
some
take over part of your
1,701
arm.
nautical miles to the splashdown site.
So if there's a hole and in that hole is something else, what's in the hole is fake. That's what's in the green screen,
Integrity
in the
systems
chroma
in
key.
excellent shape.
All the other shit is what would be real.
Currently,
That would be like the
3,300
person in the
nautical
mainframe of the camera.
left in this mission. Splashdown scheduled
I've been
36
thinking
minutes,
about getting a
39 seconds
ball
from now.
with a green dot on it so I could totally explain how what you see behind should be all that space capsule stuff. If what you see behind is something entirely different, then you're probably looking at some idiot left open their chroma key.
A bit from each other. Those limits look to be set pretty tight. We think it could happen again when the thrusters fire in the future, so we are going to suppress those messages.
We concur with suppress, not inhibit. Thank you.
That exchange between Jackie Mahaffey, our Capcom for tonight, and Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, indicating basically to ignore sensor data. All of Integrity's systems are in good shape.
When a company makes customer satisfaction the #1 goal, everything else just falls into place. That's why when you rely on Dave's Garage
Terry
Tools,
got an
you can
e-bike
always
as well.
expect top-notch
It's
work
a
at a fair
little
price.
hey Nightwolf. It's a
Serving
little
Metro
bit
Portland,
different than
Vancouver,
I
and Salem.
stepped in to talk to Tom for a second.
Now,
It's a little
coming
bit
up on
different
about
than
90
mine,
seconds
but
till the crew
it
module's
looks like a
first
pretty
visual
decent bike.
acceleration.
Mine is the Jason Retro. He got, well, it looks like about the same guts and stuff.
All quiet here in Mission Control as we enter the most critical phase of the completion of this flight.
My
All of the
frame's slightly
preparatory
different. His has
activities leading up
no
to the
tail and
vehicle
mine has a
entering
tail.
the Earth's atmosphere just 20
Now I got
minutes from
green
now.
and white and red lights behind, underneath it. So the back flashes red, the middle flashes green, and the front flashes white. So at night I am very visible. It makes like an underglow because you can't really see where the light's flashing, but you can see the light. You can see the effect of the light. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It seemed like all the same inner workings. Have you ever burned up an entire battery yet in one trip? I mean, just like from start and killed the battery? Because I went all the way. There we go, separation.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation. And a great view, albeit momentarily.
And those will be the last views you get.
Houston, good step on board.
Watching that thing float away.
Copies and concurs.
The European service module now separated from Integrity, a job well done.
Integrity, no action for the 4 CDH cautions. Those are SM related, not applicable.
Integrity.
So, with Integrity now flying free on its own for the remaining 32 minutes of this mission, next up, the raise burn, a 19-second firing of Integrity's thrusters.
GPS 2.
Integrity copies, good GPS 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. It seems like it'd be quite a bit of work to kill it.
Of the orientation of Integrity to
Sounds
put it
like
in
a fun
the
ride.
right, angle, if you will, the angle of attack that it will fly in during its entrance into the Earth's
Oh, I've been
atmosphere.
live for
Entry
about an
interface
hour now.
Just 18 minutes, 25 seconds away. This is a visualization, but driven by real-time telemetry. This is the maneuvering of Integrity to the raise burn orientation. Just 2,800 miles from Earth.
Houston, we got a great view of the European service module out the window with the sun hitting the side and the solar rays and the NASA worm right there. It's a beautiful looking machine.
Roger.
And we have completed the maneuver to the raise burn orientation, 1 minute away from the raise burn. And the crew module raise burn is underway. A 19-second firing of the thrusters.
Yeah, that's what I got, I think. 20 amp hour, 52 volt.
Burn.
I just went and grabbed it. The other bike that I was looking at was a dual battery. It was like 72 volts or something, 74 volt.
Good. CM raise burn.
Yeah, man.
Pass angle is within limits.
And what is it? Segway has.
Integrity copies. Looks good on board, Jackie.
So the final.
What is a Segway
is
bike?
now complete.
They're
Our
expensive.
trajectory for a splashdown in the Pacific 29 minutes from now is set and will not be amended any further. And
It's the Segway Cyber.
To mitigate any.
And it can have like up to 4 batteries.
During entry interface.
I think they're like $5,000. I'm loading it at the moment.
Com coverage. When you perform the 180 roll, for the first minute or so in that attitude, we expect about a minute LOS.
We copy.
So for those who are watching, The series of events coming up, we will enter the first traces of Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a. Let's see if I'm sharing that. Yeah, it's a Segway Cyber. Oh, darn it! Come on, man. There we go. And it could hit. Is it 3 or 4 batteries? But that's a bad bike. Of course, that's a lot of money. Oops.
If you will, of the velocity of the spacecraft with the friction of the Earth's atmosphere. That 6-minute blackout is expected to be 6:50.
Yeah, but it was expensive.
Seconds p.m. Central Time. During that period,
That was my same exact problem.
We will reach our peak speed of 24,661 miles per hour. That comes just short, based on unofficial data from the flight dynamics officer right now, will come just short of the velocity record set by Apollo 10 of 24,791 miles per hour in 1969.
Yeah, I think that bike was like 74 volts or something like that as well.
At
but that Segway Cyber, there's nothing like it on the market. It goes, I think it's like
into entry interface.
I don't know. I think it might be 70 or something like that. It can burn out. It can do a freestanding burnout.
4,000 feet above the Earth, traveling at 33,000 feet per second. The blackout period is expected to last 6 minutes. We expect that blackout period to end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time. From the end of the blackout period until splashdown, it is just 7 minutes, at which point we'll start deploying the series of parachutes to slow integrity down to an ultimate splashdown velocity of just 19 miles an hour.
We see the same, waiting for the 180 rolls.
The parachute deployment sequence, once again, will come in several segments, but in rapid fire succession.
And we have a great view of the moon out window too. Looks a little smaller than yesterday.
Guess we'll have to go back.
Reed Wiseman and Jackie Mahaffey exchanging discussion on a view of the moon that Integrity's astronauts are seeing in the final minutes of this mission that will be completed with splashdown just 25 minutes from now. 3 forward bay cover parachutes will be used to pull the forward bay cover off the top of the vehicle. Then 2 drogue parachutes will be deployed to slow and stabilize the crew module during its descent, followed by 3 pilot parachutes that will lift and deploy the main parachutes from the forward bay. The final sequence will have 3 main parachutes deployed. These will be 116 feet in diameter, each main parachute approximately 265 feet long when reefed. The parachutes
I don't know if there's any return power for braking.
Of almost 33 times the speed of sound to a gentle 19 miles an hour at splashdown.
They do have a bike on the market that has an inverter already in it. But it's more of a like, so it's got a longer range than the bike I got, and it's more expensive as well. But it's more for like going out camping, and then you let the bike sit there for 8 hours charging while you're camping, and then you can go back home. But you can use the pedals like I don't, because I set it up on 5. So if I put it up on 5, I just push the throttle and go. But like I said, I had plenty of power. Now, if I put it down on like 1, then yeah, pretty much I have to give it a pedal to get it going, but you're not really pedaling, you're just moving the pedals forward and the thing hauls butt forward.
Range to touchdown,
And of course, 2, it'll go up to
miles,
about
all the
maybe
systems in
8
excellent
miles per
shape.
hour like that. And then in 2, you get up to about 10, and 3 about, 12. If 4, you might get 16 or 20. But then on that 5th one, you get up like 35.
Integrity, Orion in the EI roll 180 attitude.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried using the gears, and it doesn't seem like when I'm throttling on 5
This view out of one of Integrity's
passes, it
windows.
doesn't seem like
We had a call for 3 good barrows. Those are barometric pressure sensors.
it doesn't
that
seem
feed,
like it has
altitude and rate of descent information.
it changes
to
anything
computers that will
to
trigger the
move
parachute
the
deployment
gear
sequence.
shifter.
We are less than 9 minutes away from entry interface, 22 minutes from splashdown.
I think average is about 32. Yeah. Well, I might have been going slightly down when I got up 35.
You can see the reflection of one of the crew members in the window.
Does hills pretty good.
Out in the Pacific, the weather conditions remain go. Just a few clouds, some scattered clouds. Winds at 10 knots. Wave heights just about 4 feet. A gentle day in the Pacific for the homecoming of Integrity's astronauts.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. It didn't seem like I tried to see if it actually changed anything. So, and I pretty much used throttles, so gears don't really matter.
Integrity back in EI attitude.
It just sits there for good looks. One day, if I run out of battery, I'll need them.
We see the same on board, Jackie. Houston, purge is complete. Crew and vehicle are configured for entry.
Houston copies.
I just want to be able to take off in my little personal quad vehicle and go flying to where I need and land and go into the store. I was talking to Tom the other day about self-driving or about flying cars. We're never really going to get flying cars until just about every car on the road is a self-driving vehicle that, like they show in some of the movies where they're going like 800 miles per hour and nobody's actually driving. Until we get there, we're never going to, even close to there, we're never going to see flying anything. Then watch, next year,
No action required.
Jetsons will make it a licensable vehicle for anybody to just drive to work. You've seen the Jason one, or not Jason, the Jetson one.
Now 6 minutes away from entry interface.
Nobody thinks about the falling cars when they talk about flying cars.
Altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling about 34,882 feet per second. Range to splashdown at that point will be 1,701 nautical miles. And once again, just a reminder, some 24 seconds after entry interface, we do expect to lose communications with the vehicle and the crew during a 6-minute blackout period when a plasma
that dropity's a bitch. It's not so much the dropity, it's that sudden stop.
Due to heating effects. And Flight Dynamics has just confirmed we will have a blackout period of exactly 6 minutes in duration. And once again, that's due to the fact that a plasma buildup around the vehicle will prevent communications.
These guys
data.
are experiencing a lot of droppity at the moment.
To the crew members at that time, nor will we receive data.
Technically, days worth of droppity.
Everything is looking good on board. Just confirm no pre-EI downloads.
Houston concurs.
That blackout period to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time, and again will last about 6 minutes in duration. We're 4 minutes away from entry interface.
We found a trustworthy pro on Angie who put so much care into our kitchen.
He treated it like it was his baby.
About the time I move my butt, they always catch me with a commercial. And yes, technically it is just falling around. That's exactly what our orbit is. You're just kind of falling around in a big circle.
This view from Integrity, as it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, 3 minutes from entry interface. "16.5 minutes till splashdown." The USS John P. Murtha and the recovery team is on station and in position, as are the airborne imagery assets that we hope to receive imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape. The crew is ready to complete its mission just 15.5 minutes from now. All of the activities today have gone off in perfect fashion. No issues with the vehicle, no issues with the crew. And the weather at the splashdown site is go. Coming up on 1 minute until entry interface. Mark 1 minute until entry interface. 1 minute, 20 seconds until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Integrity.
I wouldn't expect to see. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. I've never been in orbit, so who am I to know? But
"10 seconds till entry interface."
I imagine once something gets, few miles away. It's very hard to spot it
And we've
over
crossed the threshold, now entering
all
the Earth's
that,
atmosphere.
either Earth
We're
below
at
or
400,000
sky
feet,
above.
traveling 34,800 feet per second. Time to splash down 13 minutes, 10 seconds. And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout.
Hey, Uncle Arnie? Yeah, they just went into the plasma
blackout period.
cloud. You could see a little bit of glow
No
before they
voice,
went
no
in,
data
but
from the crew.
no, it's droppity, droppity.
We're 30 seconds away from the anticipated point of peak heating on the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is
You
a true
cannot
test of our
prove
trajectory.
your gravity, but I can definitely show my droppity. I can show it
And from
demonstrably.
the G5 aircraft in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of integrity.
Well, we're not seeing a view. Oh, wait. Yeah, we are.
Point of light shows the vehicle as it enters the period of
Holy
peak
wiggly.
in the Earth's atmosphere.
The camera's
First time
having a really
gravity
hard
being
time
felt
tracking,
by
isn't it?
Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st. Four and a half minutes until the end of the blackout period. Time to splash down 11 minutes, 33 seconds.
Sadly, Ironton Auditor, it does seem like anymore, if it doesn't hit you in the face, it didn't really happen. I mean, that's the problem with too much.
P3 has acquisition on integrity.
Too much non-regulation of AI.
3.5 minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization.
Ooh, that's cool looking.
Plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the
totally real, isn't it?
repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield.
For anybody that didn't catch what the man said, it's a graphic. It says it right up. Now that's another funny thing is you'll see flat earthers do this. They'll talk about how fake it looks, and it says right up on the corner of the screen, visualization. Nobody's lying to you at all. It's telling you it's a visualization, but they kind of ignore that. Like I remember them showing a video from the 60s
airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone
when we first went. And they were saying that, oh, look how it's all fake. Look, the hose drooped. How does a hose droop unless there's gravity?
9 minutes, 35 seconds.
And even then it said it was a clear visualization, or it was a reenactment. Oh, I got something cool for the end of the show.
Part of the recovery team all have visuals on integrity.
I got it in the back. I don't know why I had it.
And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual. And the Navy helos also have visuals. We're still in the blackout period. Still do not have communications from the crew.
There it is. Oh boy, do I have something fun for you, Terry. Hello, Surrender Monkey.
We're standing by for communications from the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now.
I need to get more coffee.
We are now processing data from Integrity. Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone. Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views.
Like I said, I think I have something to show you that you've probably never seen before, Ironton Auditor, after the show. Right? I mean, I'll show you it on here, you know.
Houston, comm check, post blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory is nominal, and your recovery.
You want to come up to check it out, man?
Guidance looks good.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
It's only like 5 minutes, I think it is, or something.
Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman. For America and a waiting world, Integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home. Passing 100,000 feet now. Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Integrity impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity, time to splashdown 4.5 minutes. And a view of Integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet. The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison. And there go the first series of parachutes.
Yay!
And we're on drogues.
I would have stepped out for a quick smoke. I figured I had just enough time.
Two good drogue shoots.
Hello, Keebler.
Next up.
We copy. We see him.
Next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Now, to be fair, I've never used this piece of evidence before.
Perfect descent rate according to flight dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily look as good locked, but once that main chute comes out, it'll lock in.
Passing through 10,000 feet. Still on drogues.
There we go. That'll lock it in. Watch. It'll be like on rails now.
Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on integrity. And we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
And once they pluck the guys out of the water, once they've been plucked,
cabin pressure indicates no need for
I'll drop the link, and it's for Ironton Auditor only.
Integrity copies.
Ironton Auditor only.
This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board. Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds. Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
Hey, that's kind of cool. I didn't even know they had.
Passing through 1,000 feet.
That looks like RTS thrusters active. I hope. Oh, that might be the beacons. I don't know. That looks like RTS thrusters are.
Integrity splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but that's a more than I expected.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the
Man, we look like we're top up so far.
Complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
That was kind of a cool image from the helicopter.
And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts. The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're configuring for very low data rate. Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Houston, we have you loud and clear on VLDR. How else?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post landing.
Yay, everybody made it home fine. That's good news. That's good news.
Journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Now, what do they say by 28? Is that what they're saying that we'll be
4 green crew members. That is
landing?
not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means. So stable 1, upright, the crew module upright.
Yeah, they're called hypergolic fluids, or hypergolic gases that are around the capsule, I believe.
Configuration for the vehicle. This was a
They have to make sure all of that's
touchdown for
kind of
Integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover,
depleted.
Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon.
But I'm not exactly sure. I think the astronauts pop out of the capsule and then the helicopter plucks them one by one. It's not the same as
Can it generate reports?
Elon Musk.
It can now. Anything else?
Jesus. The same as Elon Musk process. They don't have those drone ships. They're going to come and pluck them out of the water and then bring them to the ship and then pluck the capsule out of the water. But as I said, this is my first moon mission from NASA, so I can't guarantee any of that.
We continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable 1 or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
I mean, truly, you are right. Getting plucked is plucking awesome as long as you have the right plucker to do the plucking.
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
SAR beacon is in 406, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
They can't find them.
Okay, copy. We are also powering up the sat phone now.
The plucker makes all the plucking difference. I'm fucking trying to tell you this, man.
And as the crew continues its post-splashdown timelined activities on board, Reed Wiseman once again reporting that all 4 crew members are in excellent shape. And we have 5 inflated airbags to maintain an upright configuration so that the recovery team can now begin a slow approach to the vehicle. Meanwhile, here in the flight control room, entry flight director Rick Henfling is polling his team of flight controllers for the start of powering down the vehicle after a thorough systems check. We have no toxic gases to be concerned about, so the recovery personnel can approach the vehicle, but not until we have powered down the spacecraft. That's expected to take a few more minutes.
Now that's one bacon eating plucker right there. I'm not kidding. That plucker can put away some plucking bacon like you wouldn't plucking believe.
Integrity back on Earth following its historic flyby of the moon. It was, for all intents and purposes, a textbook mission.
On 2828, but I'll remain on this frequency.
You see what it is, Uncle Art, is they have to get the divers to climb up into the capsule from underneath so that they can then come out as astronauts.
Wiseman indicating some trouble with the SARSAT phone on board, but that's not an issue. What is more important is that the vehicle is solid. No issues as we begin the power down of the vehicle to begin the recovery process.
Yeah, sometimes, Dr. Nimrod, sometimes YouTube censors the weirdest things.
Reports that we have safed the prop system on integrity.
Can you say again that was very weak and broken?
We would like to be rescued. Look for the flashing light, please. Please look for the flashing light. We messed up the radio comm and you can't find us, but we'd really like to get out of this capsule. We've been in here for a very long time. Please, just look for the flashing light.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion. Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time, reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes.
Holy, you could see the ship from, oh my.
Deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
Integrity, Houston, with no joy on SAR and SAT phone, we'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
All right, Jackie, we have selected
Nice one, Artie.
D+30.
I'll be right back.
No joy on SAR radio or sat phone. And
Thank you,
stand by,
Tom.
we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie. We just got.
Speaking of smells like feces in here. Did you know, I think it was the Apollo 8 mission actually had poo floating around in the capsule? I'm not exactly sure of which Apollo mission, but I believe it was the Apollo 8 mission. They found them eventually, finally.
Integrity, Houston, if you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to begin the power down.
That was a long way of saying we lost them, even though we had cameras on them, we could see them, we still kind of lost them for a couple of minutes.
And Houston, if you could relay to recovery that we hear them, but it does not appear as though they are hearing us.
Houston copies, and Reed, just to confirm, you are pushing the PTT on the radio.
So as we continue to sort out the communications between
Yeah, what I'm
Integrity and the
referring
recovery
to
team,
is a wayward
we are
dung
standing by for the initiation
that
of
got
the power
away.
down procedures. That, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large inflatable raft called the front porch. That will be the port of call for the crew as they're being extracted one by one from the vehicle.
Oh, you mean you right there? No, we can't find you, man. Don't know where you are at all.
Integrity Houston for sat phone. We are going to attempt to call you.
Good idea, standing by.
And Jackie, yes, we are pushing the push to talk, the two buttons on the left side of the radio below the up.
This communication is hilarious. Oh my god.
To see if we get good comms.
We are pushing, Tom. We are pushing the push to talk button.
You are seeing that you are touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
I'm starting to wonder if they're prank calling the rescue team, honestly, Uncle Artie. Oh yeah, working perfectly fine, and they're like, nope, doesn't work.
Mission Control here, call the crew on their satellite.
I kind of wonder about that with the president too, where they went completely silent. They could totally hear him, but they were tired of hearing him blather on about himself, so they pretended like they couldn't hear the comm.
First boats with the Navy divers on board are standing by, waiting to close in on Integrity to begin the process of erecting the large inflatable raft that's called the front porch that will be where the astronauts are extracted from so that they can have a few minutes to get their land legs back before they're hoisted aboard the Navy helicopters for the flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
And Houston, please don't reply. NRD, very weak, but readable. Master diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us.
We can see you, but we can't hear you. We're not rescuing you till you talk to us. Talk to us.
And Houston,
Yeah, no kidding.
OE1, is there any chance to fly us into NRD?
I'm sure it's procedure. I'm sure it has something to do with procedure.
Checking.
This is Mission Control Houston. While we stand by for the establishment of communications between Integrity and the recovery team that is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Hey, Rob, yeah, just such an honor to be able to be here on the ship, to be able to share and experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said, yes, here with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Administrator, how did you feel getting to witness this and seeing NASA at its best?
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, you know, like the childhood Jared right now can't believe what I just saw. I mean, almost been waiting my whole lifetime to see this, and then it's NASA Administrator. I just
It looks
couldn't
like
be
they're
more
moving
proud
in
of
on the
entire
capsule
workforce,
now.
the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now, and. Yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at them behind us here.
Got everybody. What do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh?
No, we didn't. We have them trapped in a darn capsule out in the
Yeah, so
ocean.
grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I think about the crew members.
Oh man, that's crazy. Think about it. You've been motionless for 7 days, and now you have
professional astronauts. I mean,
the waves of the water tossing you about.
I think these were the
I mean, have you ever ridden in a car for a long period of time, get out of the car, and it feels like the ground's all weird? By the way, hello, Sirloin.
A perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. It's like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we.
Well, I mean, haven't you seen the Alien movies? You don't want. They're kind of afraid that might be what's in there. They don't know what's in there. There's no communication coming out of there.
You know, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off.
You know, as far as the rescue team's concerned.
Also getting Integrity back on this ship so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis 3. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC.
Aliens, whatever, coming to a theater near you.
20th. We're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So yes, there is a lot to celebrate right now on.
You're not just moving, you're moving in the right direction.
How am I going to play soccer in Connecticut?
For 3.
Amazing. And last question, you know, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together.
I'm thinking so. I'm starting to think so.
What do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
It's incredibly exciting. I mean,
I mean,
yes,
they
it's
just get back to
controversial,
Earth and
but
they're
NASA
already
writers across the
detained.
NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis 2, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort. We are returning to
Why
the
are
moon.
you
We're
thinking
doing it to
about
stay.
Chili's
We're
butt plug?
building that
I
enduring
don't
presence. We are going to
I
master
don't
these skills
understand,
on the
man.
surface of the moon. So someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time. And we're not going at it alone. We're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here. You guys ready to land on the moon? Awesome. I love that. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion. So stay tuned and we'll see you back here shortly.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Administrator Isaacman. We are in the process of working to establish that communications link and to establish the procedures that will lead to the power down of the spacecraft, which is gently bobbing in the Pacific following a
Just go over
bullseye
there and crack the
touchdown
frickin' hatch, man.
that occurred at
Jeez. I mean, I'm sure
7:07
it's
p.m.
procedure, but at
Central
this
Time,
point, it's a little
5:07
nuts.
p.m. Pacific Time, 2.5 hours before sunset in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego. We have once again heard from the crew during that interview opportunity with the administrator, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board. We now have confirmation that the vehicle has been powered down as per the procedures. So we have vehicle powered down, and the flight control team here in Houston, Flight Director Rick Henfling, has handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems team out in the Pacific. Now, we will physically not get off console with this team until the crew has been extracted into the front porch, that inflatable raft that will be erected along the side hatch of Integrity. So we're standing by for that in the next step in the recovery procedures. But everything is in great shape, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board the vehicle. All of the entry events went by the book, no issues, perfect trajectory for
It was a perfect
Integrity.
mission.
That
They made
was
it to the
culminated
moon.
with one
They
final raise
returned.
burn to
Unfortunately,
improve the angle of attack
they were
for the
lost at
vehicle as it
sea,
entered the Earth's
as we
atmosphere.
were
All
not
of that
sure what
flight
was inside
dynamics
of the capsule.
computation worked like a charm. So we are standing by for the recovery team to approach Integrity and begin the process of erecting that inflatable raft called the front porch, which will see the crew members be extracted from the hatch of Orion into that inflatable raft before they're hoisted aboard 2 Navy helicopters in a variety of different configurations. Each crew member will be hoisted in sequential fashion, in alternating fashion, 2 crew members for each helicopter before they turn around to head back to the John B. Murtha. Once on the deck of the ship, they'll be brought into medical bay for comprehensive medical exams. But Reed Wiseman has reported several times that the crew is in excellent shape. So just to recap, it has been some 26.5 minutes since the splashdown of Integrity in the Pacific. The vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicle functions were checked off in excellent trip hammer fashion. The parachutes all deployed as planned. Splashdown occurring at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
Yeah, Tom said the same thing. I did it poorly.
And after a bit of a tussle to try to establish a communications link with the recovery team,
Boom, beam, boom, bong, bong is the best. I guess the
run through
best.
the procedures for the powering down of the vehicle. We've handed over mission authority to the exploration ground systems folks out in the Pacific, and the recovery.
Just in case anybody was wondering, I was trying to do tones from First Encounters.
The inflatable raft called the front porch before opening the hatch to Integrity to bring the crew members onto that raft before they're hoisted onto two Navy helicopters, two crew members for each helicopter, before they're flown back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
Super shot.
Wait, did he really skip the part where I showed my butt?
Like, tell me, like, here's a doll. Point on the doll where people have hurt you.
Haha, I got you again. Did I do something to the audio? Oh, did they just give up on... Yeah, as long as we stop talking, man, they won't realize that we're just sitting here for no reason. It's like they're just staring at things like it's freaking a ghost or something. Like it's a werewolf. They're frozen. What do we do with it? Wonderful. Way too much information there, Mr. Sirloin.
Spring, the unofficial new year for tool people. New jobs, new projects. Celebrate your new year with quality.
Anyway, Ironton Otter, are you still here?
This is Mission Control Houston. After talking to the flight dynamics folks, we have a bit of a refinement on the splashdown time for you. Their computation shows a splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Once again, from Flight Dynamics, A splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Reports from the Pacific indicate that the recovery team in communications with the crew aboard Integrity, that the crew remains in excellent shape as they await the approach of the team for a final hazard gas evaluation before they move to the side of the vehicle to erect the inflatable life raft called the front porch. Again, no issues with Integrity. The vehicle is powered down. All of its systems are now safed. We have handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks in the Pacific, but we will not stand down and have the entry flight control team depart its positions until that inflatable raft, the front porch, is erected, the hatch open, and the crew having exited the vehicle. So that's the next step in the recovery process that will lead to the hoisting of the crew members. For 2 crew members for each helicopter, they'll be hoisted to a pair of Navy helicopters that will then fly a short distance back to the USS John P. Murtha. What you're looking at is one of the fast boats circling the vehicle to make a hazard assessment.
Okay. So they're plucking them out of the water. Uncle Artie, this stream I said earlier is this pin was for Ironton auditors, so I could discuss something about flat Earth with them, and I don't know. I think I should kind of honor that, unless Ironton auditor says he really wants you to hang out. What up, Ironton auditor?
Hello, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. You want me to bring up Uncle Artie?
If you want to, it's your channel, sir. I don't mind.
Well, it's going to be all a mess from there. You know that, right?
What's that?
You know that. The moment we pull him up, it's going to be a complete mess, right?
Well, it's Uncle Artie. What do you want me to do? you gotta love the guy. I do.
Hey, Uncle Artie, how you doing?
Hello, sir. I am here to be a gentleman. How are you gentlemen doing this evening? Salutations to the chat.
Salutations to the chat. That was pretty good. So, that was weird that they just wouldn't go over there and open the darn door up.
What if one of those guys had flatulence and let a stinky loose right now? What if the woman, the female astronaut, she went,
I had to let that go, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
I gotta admit, I think it's ridiculous that they still ain't out of there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they wouldn't. I mean, geez, just because of a comm issue.
Right.
I
mean, I think they're working on it now, but
wouldn't you want to get them out of there quicker if you were unable to communicate?
yeah, they got windows. They can see out.
Well, I'm sure they're right. I'm sure there's also communication between NASA and the recovery crew.
They could almost pull out a cell phone and text now, couldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's communication. So NASA is telling them, yep, they're in there, they're all good, they're doing fine, and they're like, well, we can't hear the message. And
Houston, once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis.
So they finally initiated it.
Integrity.
so they can go around
All
the
of
moon
the Navy
and
divers
talk
and
all
the
the
fast
way
boats
around there,
are
but
now
they
approaching
can't talk
the
on a cell
spacecraft
phone.
after conducting a hazard assessment. The
Yeah,
vehicle
it's all
has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch
They like
can
to
be
say the
opened
word
and the crew
erect, don't
members
they?
They do.
extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted.
Talking about powering down,
one by
hell,
one
hit the
into
off
a pair of
switch and
Navy
open the hatch for
helicopters
crying out
for a
loud.
short flight back to the
Oh,
dock
it takes a
USS
while to power the systems down, 15 to 20
If you missed
minutes,
it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics.
depending
and
on if they
received,
did any
a more official
pre-flight
touchdown time,
power down or not.
or splashdown time, as it were.
And most of that is
7:07
the
and 27
batteries,
seconds PM
spinning down the
Central Time,
batteries and whatnot.
5:07 and 27 seconds.
It'll power
PM
down when the
Pacific
battery
Time.
runs dead. I bet money
That
on
would
it.
equate to a
Oh
mission
yeah,
elapsed time of
everything
9
powers
days,
down
1
when the
hour,
battery's
32
dead.
minutes and 15
It's
seconds.
not like NASA can't afford another battery.
So the celestial spheres, you know a lot about them?
I've heard of those.
So basically, I guess if you set the camera on the pole star and leave the lens open all night long, you get this cool little swirly effect.
Oh, where the stars seem to go around in a big circle.
Yep.
I have seen that.
So on the flat Earth side, what would be the best explanation for that? Would it be that we're moving and that the, you know, like globies believe, you know what I mean? Globies all believe that the Earth is moving and what we see is the stars kind of just sitting there.
I think they believe that the Earth is stationary and that whatever we see up there is actually moving.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Now, the other question would be, so when we see, do you know, have you used an equatorial mount, or do you know about equatorial mounts?
I don't.
That's funny. Is getting the crap zapped out of him.
Oh, hold on.
So, what was I saying? The celestial mounts. See, this guy will distract you. He's a nut. So basically, tell me if I'm kind of right, because I don't know if you're aware, but the celestial mounts, if you lock onto a star, an individual star, and you track its movement in the sky, it'll follow it all night long to the other horizon. And I believe that most flat earthers claim that that's a linear path. That's a linear path over your head. It's not going, you know, around a ball. It's going from east.
That's my assumption. That's my assumption, in a big circle coming back over the flat plane, I assume.
I happened to find a video where instead of locking onto the pole star and tracking its movement, the person locked it on to the pole star, or not a pole star, a horizon star. That's right, to catch the east to west. The person locked it on to the horizon star, and instead of tracking that star's movement from east to west,
no issues.
he set the
currently biding their time
mount, the equatorial mount,
we have no
to track
we have no
what's
hazard
happening
gases,
to the ground.
and no hazardous situation with the vehicle. It performed perfectly all the way down.
Would you think that most flat earthers would claim, I'm not sure if you're flat earther or whatnot, but would you say most flat earthers would claim that that is that it would then see the sky
phalanx of recovery personnel
rolling over our head or doing some sort of different what do you call it, sky type effect? Because the ground would have to stay stationary, so it must be whatever's going to happen in this new way of setting the mount that's not been used before. It would have to have some sort of effect on the sky, right?
I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea. I'm not exactly a flat earther. I like to consider myself a neutral earther. Like I said earlier, I don't believe anything I hear and only about half of what I see anymore.
So the guy I'm referring to, as I said it to the Earth's movement, 24-hour. You know what I mean?
Well, I would assume a flat earther would return with, you can't set something to, you can't track a movement of something that doesn't move, would be my assumption.
Some 41 minutes following Splashdown.
Well, that's right. That's right. But however,
there's no hazardous gas
it is
emanating from the
it is
vehicle.
going to
That's
have
why
an effect on the
first
mount.
team of recovery personnel has been able to pull alongside Integrity.
You talking about the mount on the camera? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, because you're tracking exactly where that mount would be.
Well, I guess if it's locked on the Earth, it shouldn't move, would be my assumption.
Unless it is moving, and then something different would happen, right?
Well, possibly, but if it's locked on the Earth and it's sitting on the ground that it's locked on, theoretically, it shouldn't notice any movement either, I would assume.
Yeah, that's what I would think. However, I have this interesting video here as we're gathering this. I'll pull it up. The Earth does a strange thing when you just lock it onto a position in the sky and set a 24-hour day. That's basically what I was explaining. Locking it on the sky and then setting a 24-hour day. But instead of tracking that object, staying at one position locked in the sky.
Okay.
Is that neat or what?
This is definitely different.
What it's showing is the Earth isn't stationary. I do see the stars are very stationary. But the Earth, instead of swinging from left to right, instead of swinging in a big circle, which is what you would expect if it was a flat stationary plane, this thing appears to do what would happen if you had put a camera on a gimbal onto a ball and then turned the ball. The ball would be above you at some point, and the ball would be beside you at some point, and then below you at some point. You know, as long as the gimbal stayed straight.
Wonder if they turn it slightly to the left of where it's at, if we'll just see the ground come up and go down there. Interesting. I've never seen this, so this is the first.
That's what I said. I've never used this piece of evidence for and I don't know why. It's been trapped in the back for the longest time, and it really kind of shows that maybe those full earthers may be right.
That's 13 degrees per hour drift. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, rest in peace, Bob. We still love you for proving that the Earth moved. That's a long video, by the way. That's days on end. The person left that playing for. You see how long? I don't know. Can you see the video in the background?
Oh, I did. I don't know.
I mean, oh, okay. Can you see it in the lower section or no?
All I see are penguins at the moment in the chat.
Oh, see, yeah, you guys can't see the timing because the timing that's only like 1 minute and some, and the thing's what? Let's see, 12 minutes, 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying? It just keeps going round and around and around and around. You could drive a flat earther nuts with this, I bet.
Well, how do I know that's not just a powered gimbal that flips the camera? I guess.
Well, you can get an equatorial mount.
Well, I suppose I could. I don't know what
they
got. I just know what they say is
right. But the best way to do it is to experiment for yourself, and you can get an equatorial mount and follow the same process and see if this happens.
I've only ever redone one experiment that I saw years ago. It definitely wasn't this one.
Neat little experiment, though, isn't it?
It makes me curious now. I'm going to have to start looking for that and see if anyone else has done that.
Here it referred to as a stab collar.
I believe it's the only time I've ever seen it.
Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water
It
too
happened
much,
already.
again,
I
to
mean,
make it
I'm
easier
never.
for recovery
Nope,
forces to
didn't
get
say
the
anything.
astronauts out.
I'm kidding, of course. I don't know what happened already.
Are they actually going to get them out of there now?
It looks like they're moving up there. I think that, have I seen the erectiles erecting?
By NASA to
That's a lot of erection.
get the crew out of Orion.
Well, I mean, have you listened to this broadcast, man? It should almost be on Pornhub.
Doing great on time so far.
I mean, all that talk, I've damn near erected myself. I'm just waiting on them to get out of there.
Looking right.
Flight surgeon Rick Schuring earlier in this broadcast.
Open the plucking door.
He said to me, you know, no rush to get the crew out. Just want
Obviously,
to make sure
no rush.
that
We can see that.
good. And
yeah, I mean, we're most certainly clear that there's not any rush whatsoever. I was kidding at first about they were having a little bit of a comm problem, and I knew they were just going to go over there and go, whatever, man. We hear them in mission control, so they must be okay. But nope, these ding dongs wait around for freaking 20 minutes.
It would seem like to me that if we thought for a second they may not be okay, we would want that open quicker, not slower.
As there are mission audio loops in mission control.
But then I'm just a hillbilly, man. I don't
know. Now an alien jumps out.
On the ship, and it was just reported out that the side hatch is open.
Disclosure day. Here it comes. Get ready.
The side hatch of integrity is open. You're getting these beautiful shots from our aerial assets. The ship itself, where I'm on, just 3,000.
Well, I mean, it's been in the water so long, they should give it a freaking HS logo.
On the boat here, glued to the
I'm surprised they haven't come by.
They can see all this action.
Sorry.
And again, with
I was going to say a USS, but that's a submarine. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised they haven't come by and fined them for not having the numbers painted on it in the registration. It's been floating so long.
The Navy personnel is about to get inside there.
Does the back of the shirt say immigration?
In they go.
That might be all the ICE agents on the other boat there, making sure.
Orion. So it'll be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but the goal is to.
Well, I mean, there's, Canadian on board. He might be one of those agitators.
Astronaut assessing them.
Maybe, eh?
Eh? Not necessarily the fastest process in the world, but this was never going to be. This is kind of the slowest process here, but they didn't have to just sit there and watch the thing like it was diseased or something.
Like they were going to catch something from it.
Again, that one.
Maybe it's just incredibly deep and it takes a while to climb up out of there. What do you think?
That's what I was saying. If you wanted to say it's fake, this is a perfect opportunity to say, hey, what happened is because you can't see under the water there, they had divers dive in and go swim up underneath and then climb up through the bottom through an airlock so that they can get inside and then come out as astronauts.
Orion back to the well deck.
The only way they could have proven different was to open that hatch sooner. Are they even in there? I'm still wondering at this point.
No.
And so as we wait for the Navy and NASA personnel to get their assessment of the crew inside of Orion, why don't we toss it back to Rob for
we have to assess them before we drag them out.
I gotta look at them first.
Make sure they're still them. They've been in space all this time.
The vehicle has been powered down for some time now. There are no hazardous gases emanating from integrity. That, of course, allowed the recovery personnel to approach the vehicle and
Grip,
Hey,
stability, precision. That's the essence of driving.
Hey, for all them miles, you're going to need new
TaxAct
tires.
knows early birds get the worm, so you can quickly file the moment tax season.
poor man gets the commercial.
Raft, the front porch.
Did you notice a while ago when we did all that e-bike talking, they threw an e-bike commercial in there? They're watching.
I didn't.
Have
That's
a moment
funny.
or two to get their land legs back before they're
Yeah, I
hoisted,
didn't notice that.
into two hovering Navy
But it is
helicopters.
weird like
Two
that the
crew
moment
members
you
for each
start
helicopter for a short flight back to
talking
the deck
about
of the
something in a
USS
chat
John P.
or
Murtha.
Oh yeah, they definitely want to sell you some.
All of Integrity's systems operated flawlessly throughout the course of the
well, it's most certainly seaworthy.
the entry into the Earth's atmosphere, and all of the key milestones that followed.
They should have. They should have erected a sail. They could have been back to the land by now.
More than 694,000
Maybe they should have renamed it
miles
Seaworthy.
from the vehicle's launch from the Kennedy Space Center atop the Space Launch System back on April 1st.
Oh my God, the flat earthers have been going crazy on that. I don't know if you hang out in flat earth discords or anything, but they have been going nuts about that. Of course it's on the 1st, and of course it's something about the time, and of course it's
I'm sure 33 played a way in there somewhere, didn't it?
yeah, I don't think it was able to be slid in there. That's why I think that was the one thing they didn't mention, is because none of the documentation revealed a 33. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't hang out in those places. I know quite a few. I guess you would term them flat earthers, but I don't really have a lot of contact, just here and there.
Man, I got this Discord I'm always hanging out in that it's 99 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of wait, did I say all that right?
Close enough.
Of just stupid. Like, they're actively stupid at this moment. Let's see. Share screen.
As we mentioned at the
Well, I'll have to first stop this screen.
the last time that
They're taking forever anyway.
Astronauts are going to die of old age before they get out of there.
What happened here?
Looks like someone activated the penguins. They got tired of them waiting too. Coming to get
Well, I guess I showed everything, but anyway. So, like I was saying, this is a very active all the time Flat Earth Discord. They're at this moment in there arguing. You know what I mean?
I do occasionally like to listen to them argue. It's some fun for me.
It's freaking hilarious, yeah.
And you know me, I always play the devil's advocate. I can argue either side of it. I don't care. I have fun either way. It's fun for me.
Yeah, that switched over good. That actually surprised me. That switched over so well. I never get nothing right.
Good thing you don't pride yourself on the professionalism, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean... Do the Portland Frog. It's a good way to swim, right?
Looks like they're going to have to swim. I don't see them trying to get them into a boat.
I thought I saw them get into the water.
Did they? Oh, I must have missed it.
Or maybe I was imagining shit. Yeah, I may have been imagining shit. Maybe it was a diver going back. I'm not sure. Or his son. Probably his son. And I'm a retard.
Well, like you said earlier, he's got to swim under it and come up through the bottom hatch.
Do I got the audio? Yep.
Hey, it looks like there might be something moving inside the hatch finally. I might actually see somebody.
They ran away. Ah! What is it?
Why don't they just put a ring on the outside of it and go up there with a boat and hook a chain to it and pull it right over to the boat? I mean, you know, do I have to think of all this?
Yep, don't know.
This all seems a bit ridiculous and redundant. All this stuff they're doing right now, you know. I have a question because, like, I don't understand the whole thing about like the bone density and the muscle loss and that kind of thing during space travel. But after so long and so far, when they get back, are they able to, like, with full strength, do what they want, or does it take a minute to get the strength back, or how does that work?
Yeah, 7 days is nothing. That's was it 7 days, or was it 3 in and 3 back? Right,
6 or 7, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's not really long enough to make that much of a difference. When we talk about bone density loss, we're talking like 3 to 4 months, a year. You know what I mean?
So a trip to Mars and back, huh?
Yeah, or a few wraps around the. I guess it would be a few hundred wraps around the Earth with the space station.
Does anybody know what the point of this little venture was? I mean, I'm just curious. Obviously, they say the moon has no strategic value. So what was the point?
To practice landing on the moon. It was basically to see if this craft, of course, we know the Apollos, but if this craft itself is capable of landing on the moon. Well, so it was kind of a practice run. We brought the entire mission just as it would be if we were going to land. We released the limb. It'll crash whenever, unless it's just going to still orbit. Or I think I heard somewhere it's going to orbit for another 20 years or something before crashing, but I don't know if that's true. I do know we left the limb, and then we're now coming back with the trunk and the capsule to see if it's doable. And the reason why we want to do that is the plan is to build a base so we can launch from the moon.
See, that's what I said years ago when I was still a kid. I said, I don't understand why they don't build a base on the moon. It would make it a lot easier to launch from there for deeper space exploration, or at least solar system exploration.
Well, the problem ultimately still lies, we still have to bring the fuel there. We still have to bring the fuel there. We still have to bring the craft there and fill up the craft there.
Right. So basically, there's no reason to do it all. It's just a waste of time, energy, and money if we could launch it from here without, because we'd have to launch all that stuff from here to get it there. It costs double, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Or is it because they can bill the taxpayer? They don't care how much it costs.
Well, I mean, there is that. There definitely is that.
They got some deep pockets, don't they?
Oh yeah, it's totally as you should say, unscripted. You know, going with the fake thing.
I'm just trying to figure out why they want to land again. Yeah. I mean, if there's no strategic value really, then I mean, I guess I don't get the whole purpose of it. Unless they're trying to prove it to all the flat earthers that it ain't flat, you know, and that was the reason for their mission.
Well, the best way to do that is freaking capture a flurf and bring them on the trip with you.
Hey, I'll go. I'm not exactly a flirt, but I'll go, and I'll keep my camera going the whole time. We'll see what happens. I'll take the ride. I am worried about that crash through the dome, but if they can get me through it with would you say earlier they did?
Oh yeah, it's shoot, harmonic resonance. That's right. They matched the harmonic resonance of the dome, and it allows them to pass through as if it's not even there.
Sounds like some USS Enterprise stuff. I like it. Beam me up, Scotty.
Either that, or you could just say, they wait for the thing that's called the launch window, which is a hole that's cut in the dome up there that they can open up for. Notice it's only open for a short period of time.
Well, so yeah, the windows of heaven, according to the Bible, Zeus.
So they can open it up for a little while and launch through that, and then close it up again.
Well, they got to keep it closed or all the air will leak out, right?
Right.
Reminds me of Spaceballs and the maid with the vacuum cleaner sucking the atmosphere off the planet.
Oh, the flat earthers show that beam all the time. And like I said, what is hilarious is this event. They were because of the FTFE. They had started to fall into a hole into nowhereness, and because of this event, pop, out. It's like popcorn again,
How many people were in that capsule?
4.
Did they undress? Is that one of the astronauts there in the window talking on the phone or something?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I am like, guys.
Or did they not necessarily need to be in spacesuits because the capsule had its own atmosphere?
No, they came back in spacesuits. So they didn't need to be in spacesuits, but once they went to entry, then they used the spacesuits.
Okay, so it's not like they didn't have time to undress. That's a fact.
Right.
Forever.
Man, they had enough time to cook a turkey almost.
Right. Is this happening now, or is this from earlier today?
Yeah, no, this is live.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're watching. I had no clue it was gonna. Oh, yep. Now we got the raft, the thing, porch, whatever. And
really, can't they just jump out the damn thing? At this point, I think I would. I don't need something to walk on, jump onto. Just let me out. I'm not claustrophobic, but that doesn't look like a lot of room for 3 to 5 people,
Well, I mean, it's not like the dude that was, went on the Starliner with the after eating tacos all day.
You reckon they specially engineer their diets for such an enclosed space?
Oh my God! Have I told you what they've been eating? They've been eating cheese and nuts and pudding and roast beef and sausage and
I hope they have an exhaust fan. They're going to need it.
Well, maybe that's how they fuel the vessel. I don't know.
methane powered re-entry rockets.
They all get up there and fart in the valve.
If so, I want a car like that.
I'm surprised we don't have a car that can't condense the very available gases within the atmosphere and make some sort of combustion that would power the vehicle.
Well, see, there's a conspiracy I can get behind. I believe we've had more than one, but I think that stuff is kept incredibly quiet by very wealthy individuals and corporations.
I mean, because all of the gases are there, plenty of them.
Right.
I mean, the only thing is that it would have to start, of course, by an expenditure of energy, as any thing that gets created needs is an expenditure of energy. So to create the gas, you're going to have an electric motor of some sort to create the gas, and then the gas can be used. So that may be where the problem lies, but
Tesla was almost to harness the the atmospheric electricity. You know, the Earth, even us, we run by electric, right? We're all bioelectric creatures. You know?
Yeah.
That's why lightning comes from the sky to the ground. You know, it's all about the charge. How do we harness it and use it? I don't know. There are those that claim that it was known in the past and that was buried and hidden at some point, and we ended up with the system that we have for control.
Have you seen the blue sprites?
I've seen sprites, yes.
That shoot up from the cloud into...
Yeah, those are some amazing videos when you start getting into it.
Yeah. Into wherever.
It's like the top side, way up there above the clouds and stuff. It's really cool. Maybe those are the interdimensional beings, and due to the rip in space-time by the electricity, we're seeing it.
Wait a minute. When did space have to be real for there to be a rip in space-time?
Well, because space is here too. Between me and this microphone is space.
Yes.
And it takes time to reach it. So
yes.
whether or not there's an outer is irrelevant.
It's funny you mention that, because every time I hear somebody say space is fake, I'm like, well, there's space between my fingers.
Right.
Even if I put them together. Even if I put my two fingers together, there is space between my fingers.
Right. And it takes time to navigate that space, therefore space-time.
Oh my Lord. You're going to die of starvation.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're all going to get senior citizen coffee when they get out of there, for sure. They'll go straight to Burger King and get a free one. Congratulations. Thank you for the trip, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you. Here's a coffee.
And an AARP card.
Can't ask a man to give any more than his life for his friends. We appreciate y'all spending it in that capsule for us. It is taking ridiculously long. This is just silliness. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it seems ridiculously silly to me. Am I the only one?
Maybe they actually passed in there.
Well, they ought to know it by now.
I'm kidding, of course.
Well, maybe they already jumped out and swam off before the boats got there. Got tired of waiting on them. They're out in the emergency raft somewhere with a beacon that don't work.
Cabbage will always get you. If you ain't tooting after cabbage, you got problems.
Right. That and pinto beans.
Yep.
Did you ever see Hillbilly Bubble Bath Zeus?
No, my brain immediately knows what's up.
It's a bag of pinto beans, yes, sir. Hillbilly Bubble Bath.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keebler, and a radio that's broke. Ain't nothing working right now. That's why they couldn't find them, even though it's like right under the damn.
Like, look right at them.
Well, if you're out in the boat and you can't see it, look up at the damn helicopter and get under it, right? Because that's where it is. Like, we seen that. Just silliness. It seems
like I said, I'm sure it's procedure, but geez, they might want to change that procedure.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they had any kind of a medical problem in there, it'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if someone really needed to get out for some strange reason, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Bumped his head when on impact with the water, maybe. I don't know. Or her head. I guess they have a lady with them too, don't they?
Well, all in all, they did have comms. They did have solid comms with Houston. It's just the rescue crew that they didn't have comms with.
Didn't Houston tell them to look under the big helicopter in the sky?
Right, which made
like they didn't know. Like they didn't know about where they were coming down anyway. They had it tracked to the fucking minute and second all the way through there. Then all of a sudden, I can't find it.
I bet you it landed within inches or centimeters of where they wanted it. I mean, not anymore. It's floated freaking halfway to California by now.
They better have the straight open. It looks like this thing's going to float all the way through it. Yeah, I just can't get over the ridiculous amount of time that, they've been in this thing for that long, took that long of a trip. It didn't take them this long to get in it.
So I guess that's the porch that they just finished erecting there, is the porch thing.
Something for him to get out on, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have had one of them mounted on the side of the damn boat and pulled it in with a rope by now. Like I said earlier, just hook onto it, pull it right to you. Or pull the boat over to it, whatever has to happen.
Or maybe take a little bit of a lesson from Musk. I mean, I hate to say this, NASA, but it's really not that bad of an idea to just pick the capsule up out of the water,
right?
Secure it, and then ask the guys to step out.
Just like a crab boat crane,
Yeah, I mean, that's how
pick it up out of the water.
That's how Musk does it. He brings a little drone boat over there, and it scoops it up out of the water, right up where it lands. Maybe they should take a little cue from that. Of course, it's your rival, and you can't build anything that's exactly like it, but you can make something that works the same, or use a functioning, like you said, use something that's functioning already, like crab boats.
All they have to do is use what they've got, and they could manage any or all of those. Like that boat right there, it's already got a damn porch on it. Are you telling me that there's no way that NASA could have put a hook on the outside of that for the boat to put a hook on? And you get what I'm saying? This seems so ridiculous that it took this amount of time. Now, maybe they have this huge, long-winded scientific explanation that'll make sense. But
it was going, like I said, it was going to take that long to begin with, but it was that extra 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes of just sitting around like, is there anything in that thing? I mean, they were looking at it like an alien spacecraft.
Right. It might be like Dr. Nimrod says, they might be trying to give them a little bit of leeway. They might be trying to test a lot of things that they have never done before. Now they have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. It might actually be the radio was working fine, but as long as they didn't make the radio work, then you know what I mean?
Right.
Practice if it ever happens. Well, now we know what happens. Well, now, if it's a test, we know what happens. If they can't communicate with the guys inside, they let them rot to death.
They leave them there until they either hear from them or they start smelling it. That's terrible, but it seems true. Yeah, it seems like they really aren't as prepared as I would expect NASA with the money we throw at them. It just seems ridiculous to me. I hope that there is a logical, explanation, but it does seem incredibly long of a time to sit there and wait on them to decide that, yeah, you can come out now. I mean, I assume the astronauts can swim, can't they?
This is a test of the American patients.
American astronaut recovery system.
Yeah, I had something I was going to say funny there, but I forgot.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I had long forgot before you said anything. It's that dementia. It's that dementia,
Right. Not only their photo op, he said they see how slow they can go getting paid by the hour.
You got a point there,
So is this military personnel that we are using here that they keep referring to as assets?
Well, the entire NASA operation is now under the helm of, it's either under J. Hold on. So part of NASA is commercial, and part of NASA is part of the Space Force, and I believe this is the Space Force division of NASA.
Okay. I was curious exactly what Space Force did. Apparently, they float around a capsule for hours on a boat. Not much space in their force, is there?
United Launch Alliance, ULA. I had to remember what it was called, the commercial aspect of NASA, and I couldn't remember.
How many experiments you reckon they got left to do in 0G all this time?
I'm not sure. But you know, I do know that sometimes accidents come from space. Like there was so there's this fire retardant material. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they were trying to make I forget what they were trying to make in space, and instead it ended up making something that was entirely different than what they wanted. But we ended up finding out that it was great for fire retardant. And if we had never went into space, we would have never created it. The mistake would have never happened, and we would have not. Okay, not only would this mistake not have happened, we wouldn't have been in the right environment for the conditions to be correct.
I'm not denying that maybe being there has led to breakthroughs and technologies, innovation, all of that stuff, right? I'm just curious, like, how will that be a continual thing, you think? I'm just wondering what they do up there. I mean, they say they do all kinds of things, but I've never been there. And anytime you see them, they usually do a flip. They play with the drop.
Yeah, they look like they're fucking just up there jacking off.
Yeah, you know, so I'm just kind of wondering what the fuck they do all that, you know?
Yeah, but Jesus, come on, astronauts, get out of here. Astronauts.
NOTS, astronauts. They better be good at scuba, and it looks like they're going to have to. And we still ain't got nobody out there yet, have we?
And like I said, can you imagine being 7 days completely motionless? And now you're here in the ocean getting kicked around, back, forth, up and down.
You're home and still can't get out of the boat.
Yeah, you know, like sea legs. And can you imagine? But this is actually the reverse. It's from complete stillness to sea.
Well, to go from 0G to full G to like bobbing and weaving might make one sick.
It would probably make me sick.
They got sick and they had to clean it up before they come and open the capsule. They can't have that on TV. It looks bad.
Oh, that makes sense. Change their shirt. Got a yellow towel over the door to cover up the splatter.
Which it hides the green screen. That glitch out part. You know.
Yeah, I might do the bowl trick one day. The only thing in my area would be the little green circle in the bowl that's green, and then in the background have like flame or something.
Right.
So I can move the ball wherever it is, and the only thing that's fake is that little spot. That little spot, not all this, not all you're see the flat earthers are saying all this is fake and that little spot is real. No, it's that little spot that's fake and all this is real. And I don't understand it because they all know how to use green screen. They've all had a chroma key. They know how it works.
Right.
What do we got here? They covered it up so we can't see him get out of the capsule.
Well, they got to have a few camera cuts to make it look like they got out of it.
I tell you what, man, I'm tired of waiting for them to get out of this thing.
Notice how they're handing in clothes for them, the helmets and shit they want them to put on, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty. I mean, geez. Could we like end this? Oh, I mean, Ironton and Auditors already had our discussions about, you know, flat Earth nonsense. Hey, there we are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. So everybody keeps talking about how AI, everything I do is AI. And I keep thinking about while I have you up here, I keep thinking about your logo there and how AI wasn't even a thing when I made that.
Right.
When I made most of the logos that I put out there, the AI wasn't even, nobody was making AI anything.
Right.
You know, I just think it's kind of funny. And if you reverse it, it actually has AI.
Yep. And I ended up with an awesome, badass logo, man. Like, I wish I was
still
half
like
as
it.
pretty as the logo.
Yeah, I still like it to this day.
Me too. Not that I didn't like the old one. I still like it. I just, this was a perfect update.
And you could try to find all that stuff. I mean, like the tiger, you could, that was actually out there, but not anything in the piece. And the claws are nowhere near. Like the piece, and I drew little swashes above the claws. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
I
Well,
did
here's
that.
the thing. So what if someone uses an AI image or a thumbnail or whatever? Why is that a reason to complain? I mean, like, I got to be honest. I don't care if your thumbnail is AI generated or if you drew it by hand. It really doesn't matter to me.
Right, and not only that, so when you have these people that are like, "My God, you're gonna kill the power, you're gonna kill the power grid, you're gonna drain the freaking ocean if you do this," you're talking about generating a little image over what people are using it for, mass calculations of world wars and things like that, and so those people are the ones who are. The people who are using it to harm, those are the ones that are drawing massive power. My stupid little song ain't doing nothing.
Can I ask you a deep question?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, sorry.
So the idea, I know it's been talked about for a long time, and I'm no any kind of an expert or genius, but I had a thought. AI becoming, as they say, conscious, quote unquote.
Sentient.
And the reason I say that is because any consciousness, in my opinion, any consciousness that it would have is not truly a consciousness by nature or as we contain. Basically, what it is a giant calculator, and it runs the odds. And when the odds work, the odds get stronger, and sooner or later, it's really good at calculating. So it understands how to think, but not because it is conscious. It's because it's the most quick way to do whatever. The numbers match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like an image filer that we were able to cycle through. Each time you prompt it cycles through all of the images and able to bring up the image that you want or the answer that you want. That's really how AI works. It's not necessarily like it's thinking.
Right.
It's
crunching the numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's looking for
most of the time the most likely answer to start with.
So the little math cards that you used in school. Flashcards. Yeah, those little math cards. That's basically what the AI does. It cycles through those to find the right problem to your answer. It's like Jeopardy. Do you see it's working backwards? And then it pops out the right answer to your concern. That's why I say when you're using AI, to be very careful of what you accept as an answer.
Right. It can be very supportive on two opposite ends of the same, of a different statement. One person says the same thing a different way, and it can find a way to support both because it's there. Most of these AIs are developed to do whatever it is that you want them to do, and they kind of follow your lead. So be careful where you go. I agree.
Maybe I have a pretty example of that is for the hater group, which is called, what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, they were trying to guess my Discord avatar. And they looked up in AI and found, oh, look, it's from Destiny Rising. And they all swore up and down it was from Destiny Rising. And they even posted the AI, told them they showed, look, this is where AI showed me it's Destiny Rising. And the AI did. It told them, oh, yeah, the avatar is from Destiny Rising. Here, look at the avatar right here. And none of them were smart enough to look at where it says genre Free Fire or genre FF. The game, genre, Free Fire, not Destiny Rising. Destiny Rising does have a character called, I think it's the Wasteland Outlaw or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a character that they ported over from the video game genres video game Free Fire.
Right.
They ported it over to Destiny Rising. But the AI, because Destiny Rising is more popular, the AI uses Destiny Rising and gave them all of this detail about the game Destiny Rising. But at the very bottom of the post, it answers its own question that it's wrong by showing genre Free Fire character.
Well, I find the entire argument moot. To me, the idea of whether or not this person got this idea from what, you know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, you stuck a stupid video game up there on your damn logo for, at least that's what I did when I first started. I played Free Fire, so I went over on the video game and I made the little guy hold a rose up in the air and I copied it and then I took a snapshot and posted it up there.
Right.
Now my avatar that I use now is much different. It gave me, you guys remember the stream, it gave me all kinds of different little pretty, make myself look gorgeous type BS. And I kept prompting the avatar, the AI to produce more wrinkles, to try to match my wrinkles more like my wrinkles, because I'm not a 23-year-old man. I'm a 50-year-old man, and I know they're there, so they should be there.
Right.
And I tweaked it until I finally came out. If I show you the original image, it's basically the same thing. Let's see, we'll pull that up since I'm bullshitting anyway.
I think you did an awesome job with my mask.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I get the opportunity to turn that into a reality. I really want to.
Where was I?
Hey, I might not even exist. If you go back and watch my channel, 99.999% of the time, you didn't see my face one damn time through the entire thing.
Right.
It's somewhere in space.
Yeah, you're a voice that you're a floating. What's that like on the not the Poltergeist? What was that movie? Phantasm. You're one of those floating balls.
Just an entity with a voice.
Let's see, is this the image? God, the lighting's horrible on that if that's the image. Listen to me all vain and the lighting's horrible on that. Anyway, I think that's the image. So now looking at my avatar. Did I not ask it to make just about the same thing?
Pretty damn close for a cartoon version, I suppose.
Like, I tried my best to make sure it was, as close to that as I could get.
Anybody else ever tell you that your voice does not match what your face looks like when you see it the first time?
All the time. Matter of fact, I have people that I walk up to daily. I'm not kidding you. At least once a week that I walk up, they don't know me, I speak, and there's an instant reaction like, oh my God, wait. Right. So yeah, I am very aware that my voice does not match.
Della and I were at Walmart in the pet section looking at something, and I was reading a label off to Della, and a lady comes from an aisle over and she goes, I know that voice, you're the Ironton auditor.
Nice. Known by your voice instead of your face. And the shadow of the gun dragging the man.
Well, I always said I had a face made for radio. You know, I can speak it.
Right.
My voice sounds all right, and it sounds much bigger than I am. Did I ever tell you about Eugene's mother laughing at me the first time we met?
No.
So I go into Ironton the very first time that I'd ever been to his home. I went up, knocked on the front door, and as I looked through, you could see through the living room into the kitchen. And there's a lady sitting in a wheelchair in the kitchen, and she looks over at me. I knock on the door, and it's starting to get dark outside. So, you know, I knock on the door, and she looks over at me and says, I can see her say something across the room. And a couple seconds later, Eugene comes by. He looks out. He turns back to her and says something. As he comes to the door, he is, you know, already in pain, giggling, and she is like in absolute hysterics. And so I get into the house and I said, what is so funny? And she finally, after a while, got calmed down, and she said, sweetheart, you look so much bigger on TV. She said, you knocked on the door. And I looked at Eugene and said, hey, there's some kid knocking on your door. And when he come out, he goes, that's the Ironton auditor, Mom.
She thought the wrestling was in town.
I guess that, you know, I don't know if she saw an upward angle of I don't know what she saw that made her think I was anywhere near big, but, you know, I think everybody knows I'm not. I'm 5'4" and nothing, man. I'm literally 64 inches tall, exactly.
I think I'm going to pull this down. 3 hours sitting around watching a capsule float, and people act like it was the most terrifying thing on the earth.
Hey, it was a ride, wasn't
it? Right? Anyway, you have any final words?
Good night, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us, and thanks for bringing me up. I had a good time.
I had fun as well. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Make sure you push the button when you talk.
Ancient Greece, they gazed at the skies, Earth at the center, beneath the stars so high. Anaximander, Plato and Aristotle's lore, Ptolemy's Almagest, the cosmos they'd explore. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Ptolemy's spheres, oh so divine, epicycles within deferments, a complex design. Planets and the moon, the sun on their way, in circles they dance through the night and day. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed, a tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Across the lands, the model would spread in Islamic golden age, where scholars led. Al-Batani, Al-Sufi with their keen eyes, blending old and new, beneath the ancient skies. Oh, the earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed. A tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Medieval Europe took the ancient creed. With Aquinas' thoughts the model would proceed. Christian theology, it intertwined in a universe where Earth was central, divinely designed. Oh, the Earth stood still as the heavens spun around in the geocentric model. The universe they found through the ages it stayed. A tale so old until the heliocentric truth began to unfold. Then came Copernicus with a daring view, a sun-centered world, a cosmos anew. Kepler and Galileo, their courage untamed, shifting the paradigm, our place reclaimed. Oh, the earth moved on as the sun stood grand in the heliocentric model. The truth now stands through the ages we've learned, our understanding bold. In the ever-changing universe, stories unfold. The ancient tales remind us to always seek beyond the stars with minds unique. From geocentric views to heliocentric sight, our journey continues in the cosmic night. Stood grand in the heliocentric model. The truth now stands through the ages we've learned, our understanding bold. In the ever-changing universe, stories unfold. People looking up with wonder and awe, for the cosmos above holds mysteries for us all.
You notice this song has a lot of the astronomers of old all throughout it. It's a quick spelling of the album. I made an entire album of astronomers.